Welcome to Wrestling Days Live. We are live for this week's Smackdown, and fingers crossed it's going to be a better Smackdown than what we had last week. Last week, I think, was okay. I can't remember the score that we gave it, but I think it was very average. Obviously, quite a bit was taken up by the tribute to The Undertaker, and I'm a big fan of The Undertaker, but it did feel a little bit rushed. Obviously, the man himself wasn't there. We got a few kind of interviews with some legends, but it's stock footage. I don't think any of it was recorded like brand new. So it kind of felt like it was a little bit of filler. And the rest of the episode was just so-so. I really I can't even remember much about it now a week later. So, yeah, I'm kind of hoping for something a little better. I'm kind of hoping that there's going to be something juicy. We're still a good few weeks away from Extreme Rules. So it kind of feels like we do need a few twists and turns. We know, though, that WWE has been having a big problem behind the scenes. They're obviously going through this COVID problem that the world is going through, but WWE in particular have been hit quite hard. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully that's settled down now. They've got their testing in place and we can move forward. So I'm really hoping for a really fun show. Kind of the same as you, I would imagine. So, yeah, hello to everyone that's joining us. I hope that everyone is well. Let me just pop the chat out, and then I can start giving people a few shout-outs, those that are asking for them. Let me delete that off. Boom, there we go. It can't be worse than last week, says Waleed. Shout out to... I just saw someone... Oh, Elaine. There we go. Shout out to you, Elaine. Days, bring back the husbands. Bob, you was asking this before, and I've got no idea what you're on about. I don't know what the husbands are. Jim Gore, shout out to you. Hope you are well. If I knew what the husbands were, trust me, I'd bring them back. The husbands would be back in a second, but I've no idea what you are on about, and I strongly recommend that you take whatever medication has been prescribed to you. Dave's thoughts on WWE buying Evolve. That's quite interesting, isn't it? So, I mean, to be honest, it's not the most surprising news in the world. WWE do work with a lot of smaller promotions, and Evolve have been helping to develop talent for WWE for a while. People like Austin Theory, I believe, came from Evolve. Obviously, we've seen like Velveteen Dream working over at Evolve, and there's quite a few people that have worked with Evolve or come through Evolve. So that relationship has been quite close for a while. We even saw an Evolve show on the network. They actually gave us one of their big shows on the network. So this has been apparently a long negotiation. And personally, what I would do now if I was WWE is I would be having Evolve on the network as a weekly show, a network exclusive. That would be my new developmental, and NXT now would be a proper third brand. I would want NXT to still keep its identity, but I would start looking at maybe taking it on the road, still keeping it in smaller venues, still keeping it wrestling focused, not sports entertainment so much, more wrestling focused. There's a place in this world for a wrestling focused brand, but no longer would you be getting, green people going there first. I mean, there's so many people that go to NXT that just aren't quite ready. Time and time again, like people go into NXT that are maybe at the point where they're too good now to not be on TV, but they're not quite good enough to be on that size TV. They're not quite good enough to be on like the USA Network. Like they haven't quite got their gimmick sorted or their character sorted or things like that. So this is where Evolve is going to play a really big part, because for me now, I would be moving those kinds of people to Evolve, put them to Evolve. Once they've evolved, then move them to either NXT, Raw, or SmackDown. I would change the game. I don't think now you go to NXT and then you go to Raw and SmackDown. Now you go to Evolve and then you go to one of the three. So, yeah, I'm quite excited by it. They might not have that as a plan. They might just want the video library. They might just want it as another promotion they can just chuck onto the network. So they might not change anything, but that's certainly what I would do. Monica King, shout out to you. Jerry Days, did you know that I was the one that told you about the hacker following someone? Who told me about that? Charles told me about it. Charles, that was the first I saw of it. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't get a chance to go back through all of my notifications anymore. Like, man, it's so crazy at the moment. I'm just not getting a chance to do the stuff I would normally do. So, if you did send me that info, I really do appreciate it. Pablo Gamer, shout out to you. Bendo Gaming, Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle is apparently going to be on the show. Yes, Matt Riddle will apparently be on the show tonight. Kairi Sane deserves better, says Michael. Now, this is some really big news, which we can't not talk about. Obviously, I did a video that dropped onto the channel around about an hour ago. The news kind of broke a good few hours before that. But for some reason, I'm not seeing it everywhere. I'm not seeing it being like a big story. I'm not seeing Kairi Sane trending or anything like that. And I'm really surprised because the news is that Kairi Sane is done. She is gone. Like, this is big news. It's coming from Dave Meltzer, and the report is that she wants to go back and be with her husband, which makes perfect sense. So her husband, she got married not that long ago. Her husband is in Japan. She wants to go back to Japan to be with him. So this has got nothing to do with how she's being booked or anything like that. She just wants to go off and be with her husband. So, yeah, apparently she's going to come back. What I've read is expect to see her soon, right? So we are expecting her to come back onto TV. It's not as if now she's done and she's totally gone. So, yes, we are expecting to see her a couple more times. Not sure what it's going to be, but something is going to write her off. And then that's it. She's done. She's gone. So they're saying within the next month, it could be all done and dusted and she could be on her way. But to be crystal clear, we are expecting to see her again, right? So, because I can just see now people saying, look, Kairi, I thought you said she was gone. It's like, no. The reports are that they are going to use her for a good few weeks and then she's going to go. And then apparently that's it. And Meltzer's saying that she will then potentially wrestle in Japan for a year or so and then potentially retire. So, and as I said in my video, I'm really upset about it. Like, I'm not like crying or anything like that, but she was one of my favorites. Like, if I was to list my top 20, she would be in there because I love the Kabuki Warriors. I think they might be my favorite female tag team, potentially ever. I do love the Jumping Bomb Angels, but Kabuki Warriors, I think, were absolutely brilliant. I think Kairi's turn, where you remember she was a pirate and then they turned her into that, not really a geisha girl, I'm not sure what you would call it, but a very traditional, stereotypical Japanese female. And yeah, I just thought that change was brilliant. The little umbrella, the face paint, the change in her persona. You know, she became heel, but then they used her as a face as well later on. And I mean, she could work as a face. She could work as a heel. She could work as a Kabuki warrior. She could work as a pirate. She was brilliant in ring. When I went to America, I went to an NXT house show. The only person after that main event that stuck around to say thanks to the fans was Kairi Sane. I actually saw a 6-woman main event match in Tampa at a house show, and it was Io Shirai, Dakota Kai, and Kairi Sane against Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir. It was a 6-woman main event, and the only woman, it's no shade on the other women, but this is a fact. Like, I'm just giving you a fact. The only woman that stuck around after and said thank you to any fan that wanted to meet her. Like, if you went up to the railing, she would have met you. She made sure to say thank you to every single person that was there. And so I just waited. I just waited for her to get round to me. She got round. And I just said, thank you so much. And she was like, oh, thank you for coming out. And I said, do you mind if I get a quick picture? She's like, no, not at all. And so I've got a picture, it's in the video, of me and Kairi. And Kairi is holding the NXT Women's Championship because she was NXT Women's Champ at the time. So it's just a little memory like that, you know. I never expected to go to America. This was the end of 2018. I never expected to go to America and have the opportunity to get a picture with Kairi Sane, and it meant a lot. Really, it meant a lot. So I will be very sad when she leaves. I really will. She was a class act. LSW Tommaso Ciampa, Randy Orton. Monica says, I'm going to miss Kairi. Same here. Wrestling Days fan, shout out to you. Richie says, hello from me and my wife, Crystal. Shout out to Richie and Crystal. Hope you two are well. James says, Days, like I said earlier, at least she gets to leave on her own terms and is not being forced out by injury. That's true. It wouldn't surprise me, actually, if Nia is part of that story. Kind of feels like WWE are using Nia's the perception that she is a bad worker. Okay, I'm going to say perception, right? Because that's not a conversation we're going to get into now, if she is or if she isn't. But the perception that she's a bad worker, I think they're using it because they used that to write off Charlotte. So Charlotte has been written off for surgery, and who attacked her? Nia Jax. So could it be that they used Nia Jax again? Only this time she's going to permanently get rid of Kairi Sane. And then all the fans will be like, oh, we hate Nia, she's a botchosaurus, all this kind of stuff. But there's a couple of things here that they're actually playing on, you know. Charlotte needed to go and have surgery. We know that Kairi is going to be leaving, so it's just going to be quite interesting who does it. Odds on, it's going to be Nia. Odds on, it's going to be Nia. Jerry says, Days Charles is my Twitter name. Oh, okay. No worries, dude. Shout out to you. Appreciate it. Ben says, that story makes me wish that Kairi was staying, but at least it is on her terms. Yes. Shout out to you, Ben. I agree. And as I said, you know, I mean, look, I'm a 21-year-old guy. Do you know what I mean? I'd be all right if she was not able to get to me, but she any kids, anyone, not just kids, but anyone that wanted to meet her, and man, that's a class act. That really is a class act. Liario says Tessa is going to NXT. I've not seen those rumors, and honestly, if we're going to lose a Kairi and gain a Tessa, I might cry for a fortnight solid. I might just cry for 2 weeks. Because to lose a class act like Kairi Sane and bring in a Tessa is very upsetting. Swamp Manor says, Days, do you think the Viking Raiders will leave soon due to them not being happy? I don't know. I think that they will be probably enjoying the money at the moment. Probably banking a little bit. I could see them riding it out for a little while. You know, I don't know when their contracts are up, but I'd imagine that they would be taking the money for a little bit. And then, ultimately, if they want to go to AEW, then I'm sure that door is always going to be open for them. So, yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they were unhappy, because I think how they're being used right now is horrific. They were in those vignettes, and some of them are all right. Parts of those vignettes, whatever you can do, we can do better. Parts of it was all right. I will still stand by one of the worst things I've seen this year was what we saw at Backlash. That whatever that was, I don't even know what that was. That little pre-recorded Street Profits, Viking Raiders, a bowling ball, ninjas. It was just, it was madness. It was madness, but it was so silly as well. I couldn't cope with it. I really did struggle with that. So I wasn't a fan of that, and I'm pretty sure they probably weren't either. I wasn't really a fan of that whole series, to be honest, but you know, as I said, it did have some good moments in it. A few moments that certainly made me smile. And then, of course, they got battered, didn't they? didn't they lose? They lost to the Street Profits. And then they also lost to... Who did they lose to? I can't remember who they lost to. Was it Big Show? Can't remember, but I know they've been picking up. They've got no momentum at the moment. No momentum at the moment. This is a great team, you know. They were big on the indie scene. So, yeah, how they're being used at the moment. They're not being built up as this great team that's dominant, that, do you know what I mean? What happens? It should be, wow, what happens when, imagine that, like the Street Profits against the Viking Raiders. What's going to happen if they collide? We never even got close to that, did we? Never even got close to that. These, for some reason, the tag matches are just absolutely throwaway. The tag division, how it gets booked is appalling. I completely agree with the Revival. The Revival didn't sign because they said, we don't want the tag titles. We want you to improve the tag division. And WWE were like, well, no, we can't do that. And so they left. So, Days, I need you to look at the page. The Hacker is Following's cover page. Huh? Killer Sasuke just tapped. What does it say? Johnny, shout out to you. What would you do if Asuka left? I would probably cry for 4 years, let alone 2 weeks. I think it'd be about 4 years, 2 months, and 13 days. I wouldn't cope. I would be in a very dark place. Days, do you think WWE should fire Nia? No. I think that she is someone that's got an interesting look. I think that if you repackaged Nia, then you could have something very interesting. I think her music is awful. I think her ring attire is awful. I think that the way that she's presented is awful. I think that she should be this big monster in the women's division. And I don't mind watching her throwing around smaller performers because it kind of adds to who she is and who she should be. But there's things like her throwing Kairi around is okay, right? As long as it's safe, right? And a lot of what they were doing was fine. But like the buckle bomb thing, that was awful. I'm not sure I can blame her. There's people saying they were too close to the steps, but I've seen that spot done from there before. So I don't know. I'm not so sure that was really her fault. And in all fairness, we didn't see the backlash against Nia for that. You know, people straight away were like, "Oh, Nia, she's done it again." I did see that, but those people that maybe know a little more about wrestling, I don't want to be disrespectful there, but you know, people instantly going, "Oh, look, Nia's done it again," right? But those that actually maybe have seen that spot done a few times before have seen it done from there. Like, it's not as if they were standing right next to the steps and there was just no chance. Like, that would be a completely different ball game. But they were stood kind of in the middle of the ring. And it was tight. Don't get me wrong, it's tight. But I've seen it done. And it's been safe. So I kind of think that on that recent example, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. You know? But make no mistake about it. I mean, Nia has got a track record here of botching. And does definitely need to be spoken to. But I don't know. I don't even know if that conversation has happened. I don't know if that conversation has happened. Before you fire her, you could put her back down into NXT to get a bit more training. Has she spent any time in the Performance Center? In fact, she doesn't even need to go to NXT. She just needs to go to the Performance Center. But who's going to train her? What big woman have they got that can teach Nia how to be a big woman? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very difficult. There's not been too many people like Nia. I mean, it'd be great if they could get someone like Awesome Kong. If they could get someone like Awesome Kong, bring Awesome Kong in just to do some training, just to work with Nia. And they could, like, work on a few things. And but I don't know, where's Nia getting the advice from? Who can advise Nia Jax on how to be a giant like that? Maybe Big Show? Maybe Big Show, because he obviously was so much bigger than a lot of the competitors that he faced. I don't remember him being called dangerous or reckless or anything. So maybe Big Show might be a good shout. maybe that's happened. This is what I'm saying. Rather than going, should we fire Nia, which I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, WWE should. I think there's so many things that you can do first, and I don't even know where we are with that. Has anyone spoke to her? Has she gone to the performance center? Have they brought in someone to work with her? You know, I would look at all of that first. John says, I heard the Orton's feud with Edge. He might go to NXT and do 1 or 2 feuds down there. Yeah, I did hear that. I think, didn't he say he might be interested in that? So, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's going to happen yet. I think that it's going to be a case that he's going to go into this legend killing kind of vibe. And everyone's expecting him to take out Ric Flair, which definitely could happen. If I was Ric Flair, I would be not standing too close, let's put it that way. Wrestling Figure Art 1, shout out to you. James Chadwick says, Days, Tessa's attitude is a real problem, but we can't deny she is a world-class wrestler. It's very secondary to me. No denying she's a great wrestler. I've only seen a handful of her matches, but I have been very impressed with the ones that I've seen. But, I mean, you just don't need it. Do you know what I mean? Do you? You just don't need it. Days, did you know that Io, Shirai, and Asuka were a tag team in Stardom? Yes, I did. Io's got a sister as well, hasn't she? Is it Kyo Shirai or something like this? So I believe they were in a group of 3. Oh wow, what were they called? I can't remember their name, but they had a name. This like group, this faction. Oh, let me search it. I can't leave it on that cliffhanger, can I? Io Shirai Asuka group. Let's have a look. She and her sister came together to form the Triple Tails. That was it. Triple Tails. So it was Io, it was Io's sister, and it was Asuka, and they were called the Triple Tails. So there we go. Good knowledge. Well done. Days, what if Bo Dallas was the hacker? That'd be cool. Wrestling Days fan says, I want Io versus Asuka at WrestleMania 37. I was thinking if I was Vince, and he won't do this, right? He won't do this, but I would do this. The main event of Io's last match would be a loser leaves. I would quickly book some at where Io turns on Asuka, and Io turns on Asuka. Kairi turns on Asuka. Io then comes in trying to be peacekeeper. Asuka says to Io, "Stay out of this. This is between us." Right? You can very quickly book a loser leaves WWE match. Very quickly. You don't need a quick build on this, but it could be that, like, Asuka's trying to sort it out with Kairi. Io gets involved, saying, like, you know, Asuka, you were a bit out of order. You have pushed Kairi back. And Asuka's like, who asked you? And then she can turn to Kairi, Io, and Kairi should be like, look, you know, just because your friend has got the women's championship doesn't mean that you're not a women's champion as well. You know, you can have that opportunity, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, you can get issues going in 3 directions. Book the triple threat match. Asuka, Io, Kairi. Loser leaves WWE. It takes no build. You can do it in a couple of weeks. You didn't even necessarily need to do that. All you got to do is turn Kairi against Asuka. Bring Io in as the NXT Women's Champion. There's a little bit of a relationship there following what happened on Wednesday. Asuka getting involved in Io and Sasha. Oh man, who doesn't want to see that match? And we've only got potentially a month or so to do it. So if I was Vince, I would be booking that match. Loser leaves WWE. I would also be trying to do it so that the match is uninterrupted. If I can move some adverts around so I can have 20 minutes. Loser leaves WWE match. No adverts. Main event. of Raw and build it up, advertise it, and I think that'd be epic. I think that'd be really, really cool. But they won't do it. Vape Ross Vape says her sister works on a farm. E-I-E-I Shirai. There we go. Nice little joke. Days, what if WWE use Tessa as a Becky replacement? That would be horrific. I just don't want her anywhere near it. Days, thoughts on the Fiend figure? I think it looks good, really good. The head feels a little bit small. And I think they can do better, to be honest. I think it's very strong. Don't get me wrong. I've not got it in person. My gut feeling is it'd be about a 9 out of 10. But maybe I'd feel different if I actually had one. But yeah, my gut feeling is, just from images, around about a 9. Not a 10, and certainly not a Days. I've already seen enough to know it wouldn't be Days rated. But and I think they can do better. So I think you should be really excited, because you could have a figure of the Fiend right now. It's out in the shops. It's great. Don't make no mistake about it. It's great. But better than that, I think there's better to come. Days, have you heard that UFC 4 is coming out soon? I haven't. No, I haven't heard that. I still haven't played the other one, so yeah, I'd be very interested in getting that. Days, the cover page, you can see a guy in a black hoodie using a computer similar to the hacker. Okay, cool. Days, have you seen that boxing is going to return to Eddie Hearn's backyard? Someone mentioned that the other week. Yes, I would be very interested in doing watch-alongs for those, absolutely, but it all depends what it clashes with. The big problem with sports being kind of shut down is that now we're going to have so much coming at us, bang, 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 that, I mean, I might be more busier than ever, but the problem is I think there's going to be some tough decisions that have to get made as well. I mean, we could have a wrestling event on the same night as a UFC event, on the same night as a boxing event. You know, normally I'd love to cover all of those individually, but we're going to have to pick one. And my gut feeling is that I'll always prioritize the wrestling. But I gotta tell you now, if it's a big UFC event, or a big boxing match, I just don't know. I don't know. Days, what's thoughts on AEW's Puppy Royal? I don't know anything about it. I'm in the dark on it. I know there was a little advert for it. I think it's got something to do with something that happened at the Super Bowl this year. There was a puppy battle royal at the Super Bowl during the commercial break. And they're basing it on that. This is just something I read in an article. So for those of you that don't know, they showed some dogs in an AEW little ring. And they said next week there's going to be a puppy battle royal. I don't think it's a major thing. I just think it's a little talking point that's going to be used during commercial breaks, or as you go into commercial breaks, or I don't know. I don't know enough details about it, so that's it. That's my thoughts. Until I see it, I can't tell you. I mean, am I excited about it? No, but I don't know. There's a little throwaway thing that they just do for a few minutes as they come back from commercial. You know, if the puppies are dressed up as like different AEW superstars, it might be all right. Don't know. Days, if they did a triple threat, then there would be 2 losers, so 2 people would leave. You just do it as whoever gets beaten, whoever gets pinned. If you get pinned, if you lose the match, if you're the person that's pinned or you're the person that's submitted, then you're the person that goes. So there we go, sorted. The Puppy Royal will be hilarious, says Ben. Match of the James says, I think that the triple threat loser is perfect and would be a good farewell for Kairi. I love it, man. I would definitely do that. 100% I would do that. It's been a long time since we had a loser leaves WWE match. And I really, really want that triple threat. I think that's a match that people would really enjoy seeing. EO versus it. And all right, you go into it knowing who's losing. You go into it knowing who is going to be leaving. So I understand that the result is maybe a bit spoiled, but That doesn't make a difference. I mean, look at Mick Foley in the Attitude Era. Look in the Attitude Era when it was announced that Foley was the new champion. And all them people changed channels, didn't they? Because they wanted to see it. And again, we've had news breaking about NXT. Now, no spoilers from me, right? But there is potentially a spoiler out there about NXT on Wednesday. I don't think that hurts their ratings at all. I think people are going to tune in to NXT because they're going to want to see whatever happens, right? So I honestly think that even though people would know that it's Kairi that's going to be leaving, people will still want to see it. They'll want to see that moment. They'll want to see the emotion, the realization, the farewell, do you know what I mean? I think it'd be awesome. I'd be down for it. Days, who are the top 5 in-ring talents in WWE right now? That's hard to say, isn't it? Because there's hundreds of people. Hundreds of people. So I would do it so... I would say AJ, maybe Daniel, maybe Gulak, maybe Timothy Thatcher, maybe Asuka would be like the first names that come to mind. But then you've got to think about Johnny. I think Keith Lee's got to be worth a shout. I'd be thinking those kinds of names. So maybe 5 out of those. I mean, I really like Bayley at the moment. I'm really high on Bayley. I think Bayley's doing some awesome work. So yeah, I'd be I'd put her in the mix, even though in ring she's not like this mat tactician, So yeah, I would definitely include her. Dana versus Lacey tonight. Oh, I've not heard that. I've not heard a great deal about tonight's show. I know that we're getting the Jeff Hardy, Sheamus toast. I know that we're getting AJ Drew Gulak for the IC title. Apparently there's going to be a Matt Riddle interview. And we're getting Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman. Some more build on that. So there we go. We want some Bayley, says Harvey. Will Otis cash in? Not anytime soon, I don't think. Do you know who 6ix9ine is? Yes. Well, I don't. I only know he's a rapper, and didn't he get arrested for something? Maybe charged? I don't know. And hasn't he? Actually, is he in prison? I know he's got like 6ix9ines tattooed on him, but I've never heard his music. I don't know anything about him. I've just seen him like trending on Twitter, and obviously he's quite distinctive in his appearance, and that's all I know. Is it true Vince is changing Keith Lee's name to Big Keith? I've not seen any rumours on that. Chalmers says, random question, what is the worst, weirdest gimmick that you've seen in recent years? Worst, Shorty G. I just think that's dead on arrival. I do not see anything big for someone called Shorty G. I didn't even mean it that way. I just don't see, do you know what I mean? Can you see him winning WrestleMania like Daniel Bryan did? Can you see any big pushes? Can you see Shorty G in lights? Can you see Shorty G merch selling? No, DOA, dead on arrival. It's just awful. I mean, it's not offensive, so I'm not offended by it, but just from the second we heard of it, it was just awful. Miss Clown 1 says, some of Asuka's old Japanese matches see her almost kick guys' heads off. Shout out to Miss Clown 1. Hope you are well. What's your Extreme Rules predictions? I'm not going to touch that yet. I'll do it once we know the matches. Shorty G versus Big Keith, says Ben. Colby says, what do you think will happen during Sheamus's toast? Well, I think that it'll be quite disrespectful. I should imagine maybe even a little bit uncomfortable. It could see Sheamus trying to force alcohol, or force Jeff to drink, or making him drink, or something like this. I gotta be honest, I'm a bit worried about it. I'm a little bit worried about it because I don't mind the Jeff Hardy storyline up to this point. I know that It's around about 50-50. Some people think that it's wrong. Some people think that it's fine. I'm of the 50% of people that think it's fine, as long as Jeff Hardy is fine with it. Because who gets hurt? I mean, I can't see who the victim is if Jeff Hardy is all right with it. And if anything, I'm actually more interested in the Jeff Hardy character now than I have been for years. I've always said you can't put the world title on him because he's not reliable. You just never know when the next hiccup's going to come. You never know when the next problem's going to hit, you know. So the fact that they're addressing this head on and trying to use this story as a way of showing us that it's changed or it's under control or something like this, I like it. I actually think it's quite a good move. And if I was booking, I would do something similar. Because, as I said, I don't know who gets hurt as a result of this story. But if we're going to see Sheamus trying to force alcohol down his throat, then that's going to start to be a problem. We saw this before with Jerry Lawler and Jake the Snake Roberts. There was a similar storyline that was run in the 90s where Jake had an alcohol problem. And an addiction to alcohol, and Jerry Lawler was like tipping whiskey over him and trying to make him drink and stuff like this, and it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Now it might not be real alcohol, you know. They might have substituted it for a different liquid. It might just be like a juice of some kind, an apple juice or something like that, you know. I can't imagine that was real urine that got thrown over Sheamus, for example. So, you know, it could be all above board or whatever, but I will admit, you know, that it's, I think this is going to be uncomfortable. So I'm a little bit worried about it. Let's put it that way. Days, I'm loving Thatcher's new attitude, says John Elite. I agree. Days, Brian Pillman Jr. was in the crowd. Do you see him signing with AEW? Yeah, I think there's a chance. Definitely. Can I get a shout out? Yes, wrestling, reviews, and more. Shout out to you. I think Bray got out of the Perish prison. He gave into his darkness. He died. The Fiend was born. And now the only good in him does the funhouse in his head. Not in real life. Yeah, could be, my friend. Could be. That's certainly a few things you've touched on there that have been like thrown around for a little while. What I really like, I suppose, I have criticised this in the past, but I do kind of like it as well, is the fact that WWE don't give us answers quickly on things. And maybe to a lot of stuff don't give us answers at all. It kind of still leaves it open for you to interpret and for you to make it work for you. Yeah, so, you know, you can kind of take it in a few different directions. So I think I would like to get a few more answers. I don't need everything explained, but I would still like a few more answers, you know? But I kind of like the fact that it's open to interpretation. I do like that. Days, do you think Roman will sign with AEW? No. Stephen Tom, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you very much, Stephen, for the support. Appreciate it, dude. Tom Benj Liverpool says, when does SmackDown begin? We are just over 20 minutes away, as we said. Not a great deal to talk about. There's not tons that's been in the news either, but the biggest story is being WWE buying Evolve. The biggest story is Kairi Sane right now. Kairi Sane leaving WWE within the next month. We are expecting to see her again, but she wants to go back to Japan to be with her husband. So that's the biggest story doing the rounds at the moment. Of course, you know, the ratings came in. I don't know if you saw this. Jericho, so clever. He's a clever boy, Jericho, right? Jericho took to Twitter and actually had the demographics and had all the ratings. And he posted this quite long tweet saying, if you look at the 18 to 49 demographic, then you will see that AEW was number 3. NXT was number 16 or whatever. This is the demographic that the networks care about. So once again, AEW is victorious, right? And this was so clever from Jericho, right? Because even though AEW lost on the overall ratings, like the number of people that watched AEW compared to NXT, more watched NXT, right? And don't get me wrong, this is only like, the third time this year that's happened. So AEW overall are still battering NXT. But for the second week in a row, NXT was victorious. But this was clever from Jericho, because what he's done there is he has fired up the AEW fans, right? So the AEW fans are like, yeah, you're right, we've beaten them again, right? So the AEW fans are loving it. And he's also fired up the NXT fans, right? Who are like, oh, you're being bitter and all this kind of stuff. But what he's done is he's got people talking. He's got people talking. He's got people talking about AEW. So even though they lost in the ratings, social media right now, talking about Jericho, talking about AEW. Yeah? He's a clever boy, man. He didn't need to send that tweet out. And I genuinely don't think that he is so worried or bitter or angry or whatever that, that he had to send that out. I think he's done it. It's a clever strategy on Jericho's part. I as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's class. There's going to be a lot of NXT fans that are going to rant at that. There's going to be a lot of AEW fans that respond to it. And the end result is that AEW just gets a ton of free press on Twitter. So, well done to him. David Paul says, in your opinion, does Fox buy out their contract with WWE because of bad ratings? No. I think Fox wanted around the 2 million mark. I think that's what they were after. And it's only been like during this lockdown period that the ratings have kind of dipped below that. But last week was over 2 million. And I think that they would want to see better ratings than what are coming through. But equally, I think they have to understand that there's a pandemic. They're lucky to have anything at all. I mean, you got to remember, there's no baseball, basketball, American football. Everything has gone. So Fox, I should imagine, are just overjoyed that they've got WWE that were classed as an essential service and was still able to provide content. Now, granted, the ratings haven't been where they wanted, but I really don't see Fox turning around, looking at it and going, we need to cut this. It's just not working. I just don't see that. I don't think you can make that call until things kind of get back to normal, And if anything, they've got to be pleased at just having content, regular, weekly content. The backstage thing is unfortunate. Backstage, I don't think was ever getting crazy views, And I think it was a perfectly serviceable show. But the problem was that Fox has hit a bit of financial trouble and they had to cut jobs. And jobs have not only been cut from the WWE team at Fox, but have been cut from baseball, basketball, football, straight across the board. So a lot of shows have been axed or moved or changed or tweaked, or it's been unfortunate that there's been job losses. I mean, they brought in a team dedicated to WWE, and they haven't been immune from the pandemic and the problems that have been caused. So people's jobs had to go. So that's what happened with backstage. But at no way or point do I think that's a reflection of what's going to happen with SmackDown. No, I think this is a long-term deal, and I think that they're aware of the situation in the world. But it's a very good question, because I have seen that point raised quite a few times. But I got to tell you, I mean, all I do is I either stream or I'm reading reports or reading articles. I haven't seen anything to suggest that Fox are on the verge of pulling out. Gordon says, Days, should Taker have handed over the mantle to Bray before retiring? Difficult, to be honest, because I would have said yes, but honestly, what would he hand over? I mean, getting that nod from the Undertaker would be big. So I would say yes, that would be great, but it is absolutely pointless doing that and giving Bray that if Bray is then going to be booked like he was at Super Showdown. You know, if Bray's going to lose like he lost to Goldberg, then what's the point? Unless you get your house in order, right? Unless you get things in place whereby you're not only going to have Undertaker pass that mantle, give Bray that victory, which would be great, and I'd be down for it, of course, but pointless if it doesn't actually result in Bray being booked the way that he should be booked. Because, I mean, it's got to be one of maybe the single worst result of the year, Bray losing to Goldberg. I'm still stunned by it. Still stunned by it. So yeah, I unless they get that sorted, I just don't even. Hey, talking of Bray, of course Jody Gill is going to pop up. Shout out to you, Jody. Hope you are well. Jody runs Abby's Window, and along with the Insiders, and I will be on the Insiders soon. I was talking to them. It got delayed a little because people are going back to work and whatnot. But on July 23rd, which is in 19 days, I know that Insiders have got a bit of spare time coming up. So they actually said, are you free at any point in that week? Because that would work well for us. So I was like, yeah, I can do that. Thursday's always good. There's no wrestling on a Thursday. You know, obviously Monday we got Raw, Tuesday. Is NWA back? I don't know. Wednesday, NXT AEW. Friday, we got SmackDown. So it's like, Thursday's good. So, mark your calendar. Thursday, July 23rd. The much anticipated interview, Q&A, if you will. I will be on the Insiders. What's really special about this, the reason this has taken so long, is I said to them ages ago, can we do it so that people can call in? Can we do it so it's not just text and we read the questions out? Because that's fine, but that's what we do here. If we're going to do something, can we try and do something different? Can we try and find a little twist? And so they've been looking into it, and they think they've figured out how to do it. And I'm pumped, man. So this is what I'm saying. If you go to the Insiders during that on July 23rd, you should be able to call in. I don't know how it's Zoom, I think. So call in via Zoom, and then you'll be able to speak to me in person. So super, super pumped about that. So that's July 23rd. So yeah, Insiders thing coming up. Jody works with the Insiders. Let's see what Jody has got to say. Jody says, just wanted to pop in and say, hello, is it me you're looking for? Sorry, I've been MIA, who's also one of my favourite artists. I got a new job. I'm an assistant director of nursing starting on the 27th. That's 4 days after I'm on the Insider. Just see how I called it back. That's what a good YouTuber does. Big pay increase. Well done, dude. Much more responsibility. I mean, you don't need the responsibility bits, but big pay increase. Well done to you. Kind of nervous. It's a kind of nervous. Shout out to you, man. That's awesome. That's great news. Hey, look, 2020 with some good news, Jody. Who knew? Who knew that 2020 was capable of such a thing? Good news in 2020. Shout out to you, Jody. I'm sure that everyone in the chat as well is sending their congratulations across, and probably have already if you've posted that news earlier. So yeah, well done, man. Well done. Days off topic. UFC Fight Island. Oh, Ashley. That is going to be one of our biggest ever streams. I mean, if you want to, man, I got to tell you, that stream's going to be insane. I already know it will. Normally, for a UFC stream, we get around about 20,000 people join us. When it's one of the bigger streams, that can go up to like 50 plus, maybe 100,000, right? I don't even know with this. I've got no idea what to expect with this. This is 3 title fights, 3 championship fights, and one of my favorite ever fighters, Thug Rose. I love Thug Rose. She's on the card as well. And it's all taking place on a freaking island. Fight Island. There's so much buzz about this, so much intrigue about this that that show's going to be insane. I can't wait, mate. I cannot wait. So no UFC tomorrow. Of course, it's July. Hey, 4th of July tomorrow, my American friends. 4th of July, known as Independence Day. Quick little history lesson. So going all the way back to the 1200s, there was this really sexy country. It was a really sexy country that used to control America, used to tell it what to do, boss it around. Yeah, it was like this sexy country was like the legit boss. It was like Sasha Banks. But it did have one weakness, this sexy country. It did have a weakness. It loved tea. It loved tea. Oh, it loved tea. It loved a good cup of tea. Oh, that's all it loved. It didn't love anything else. It just loved tea. So all these sexy people from this sexy country, yeah, they were like, oh, you American, do this. You're American, do that, right? And they were being like bossy, whatever. But and they were drinking their tea and everything. And like these Americans, they were like, we're going to push all your tea in the sea. Isn't that rude? Isn't that rude? We're going to put all your... granted, this sexy... Again, I can't emphasize how attractive these people were. There's a lot of like literature that says that these were like gods. That they were like Adonises. Like this... I can't remember what country it is. But anyway, they used to boss these Americans around and everything. And then the Americans put all the tea in the sea. So this sexy country was like, well, we're going to go back to our own sexy country, right? I think it's called Sexyland. We're going to go back to Sexyland. And we're going to drink our own tea there. We don't even want this tea. We never wanted this tea. In fact, the tea had gone bad. So we're pleased that you've put it in the sea. So they all jumped on the boats, went back to Sexyland. I can't remember what country it was, but they went back to Sexyland, and then like the Americans just kind of got left to it. And you know what? The Americans didn't have any tea of their own then because they'd thrown it all in the sea. So the sexy people left laughing. The Americans were left there tealess, no tea, and they had to just try and create this new country, fend for themselves. And I think it worked out all right in the end. But, yeah, and tomorrow, that gets celebrated. So there we go. So that is a little history on what happened with the whole 4th of July thing. So, yeah, that is tomorrow. So to celebrate, we are going to be watching the best United States Championship matches. There is no UFC tomorrow, so we are going to be watching that. So... yeah, super looking forward to that. Not your average senpai says 8 minutes away we are. We're 8 minutes away. Days, are we getting Io Asuka versus Sasha Bayley next week? That would be cool. I'd be down for that. Days, I heard CM Punk is joining AEW. How do you feel about that? I will believe it when I see it. Days, do you know we put that same sexy country out in 1976? We sent them home with no tea. Oh, was it 19... Oh, yeah, you guys sent them in 1976 as well. Oh. Well, they didn't want to be there either. That's what I've read. They wanted to go back. If you got rid of their tea as well, then they would, of course, naturally. It's the only thing they love. They love being sexy and drinking tea. That's all they love. It's all they love. So if you're going to get rid of the tea, then I'm sorry, but you're going to lose them as well, right? That's how you get rid of them. It's their one weakness. So there we go. Jody says we're going to set off some fireworks tomorrow, and we're going to listen to the IndyCar Grand Prix race. Fireworks and racing cars. Can't get much better than that. I got to tell you, fireworks and racing cars. If you just chucked in hamburgers as well, that's the most American thing I've ever heard. fireworks, racing cars, and hamburgers. Yeah? You might as well just call your country that. Get rid of the United States of America. You're not the United States of America anymore. Now you're known as fireworks, racing cars, and hamburgers. So that's it. That's the most American thing ever. Have a great day. Big Days fan says, what time is it in the UK? It is 54 minutes past midnight. 54 minutes past midnight. Give me liberty or give me death. Days, can you rate the 4 horsewomen in order of in-ring ability? No. No, because they all are really strong in the ring. I don't think any of them... I mean, it's hard because they keep changing around. I've got to say that they've all had a handful of great matches, but maybe Bayley has had the least great matches, but I think her run at the moment is good. I'm really into what she's doing. I'm into her heel turn, but just like, classic matches. But then when you think about Bayley, you think Bayley-Sasha, and that's probably still seen as the best match that they've had. I mean, I have enjoyed the Charlotte-Becky matches. Didn't they have a great match at Evolution? And I have enjoyed the Becky-Sasha match. Was that Hell in a Cell? So there's been some incredible matches between them. But, very hard to rank. Very, very hard to rank. If I had to, I would probably say Charlotte at the top. Then, Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, Bayley bottom. But it's so close. So close. Days, Rowan's spider bites Strowman. Oh, I'm not expecting to see that spider return. I'm expecting Rowan to return, but I'm certainly not expecting the spider. Days, what do you think about the Fiend and Willow, brackets Hardy, joining forces? I got no interest in seeing Willow. No interest in Willow whatsoever. I think that they are telling a really good story at the moment about Jeff and his very real struggles. And I just don't really care for switching it up now and going with Willow and this whole different persona. I think that what we've got at the moment is very real. We're talking about something that is actually, it's working for me. I don't know if it's working for you guys, but it's working for me. Like, I care more about Jeff now than I did before. Like, honestly, since he's come back, this is the most I've been invested in Jeff Hardy. So, I really like this. So to kind of throw that away and now here's Willow. No, I wouldn't want to go that way, to be honest. But I know that it's very popular. Jody says, I'll make it better. Hamburgers, beer, race cars, poolside, followed by fireworks. But I am still British. Shout out to you, Jody. I mean, that is better, but it is also longer. I mean, I don't know if we can change the name of the country to hamburgers, beer, race cars, poolside, followed by fireworks. It's a mouthful, it's a mouthful. But you're absolutely right. All of those things scream USA. Which we saw yesterday, actually. Lots of USA chants during our WrestleMania 3 watch-along, which was a lot of fun. Shout out to anyone that joined us for that. Right, we are just 2 minutes away. 2 minutes away. Do you know, I've just gone onto my community thing just to spread the word that we're live. We've got, according to this, 619 people watching right now. 619! We've got Rey Mysterio in the house. So, there we go. 619 people watching right now. So that's what Rey's up to. He can't compete at the moment because he's blind. So instead, he just listens to all of us here on these streams. So, yes, we are just minutes away from SmackDown. Should be all right. I've got fingers crossed for this show. I'm not expecting anything legendary. I'm not expecting any big surprises, any big twists or turns. I think that the Jeff Hardy segment could be a little bit uncomfortable, if I'm being honest. But let's see. Let's wait and see. Let's not shoot the show down before it's even started. But yeah, I am a little bit worried about that. By Willow, are we talking about the Warwick Davis movie? Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. I go on holiday in 13 days to Turkey. I don't know how I feel about it. If you go in, just be excited. There's no point worrying about it, is it? What's worrying gonna do? Just be excited. Just make sure that you stay safe whilst you're out there. And don't catch coronavirus. That's the best advice I can give you. Just if you see coronavirus, just be like, no. Stay back. Here we go. Right, we're going over to SmackDown. We got the intro. Oh, hello. I need to do this. Oh, look at this. I've managed to get to it before it does that annoying beeping sound. Today is a good day. Today is a good day. Although, actually, it's disappeared off screen. So today is a bit of a bad day. There we go. Shout out to Dylan Rogers. Shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to everyone that's joining us for SmackDown this week. Should be, as we said, an all-right show. I think that last week was hit by those coronavirus troubles, you know? The fact that they had so many positives come back, I think took them by surprise, and there was a bit of a rewriting of the show. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this is going to be less impacted, but let's wait and see. Wednesday night ratings war is getting hot, says Monica. It is. We've still got people in the crowd. I heard a rumor that there's going to be fines now if you don't wear a mask. That's the latest. So they want people to wear masks. Right. They're talking about the Wyatt Swamp Match. They've changed the graphic for the horror show. The horror show now is quite big. They've got horror in like a horror font. The word horror just got scarier. So the horror show. Extreme Rules. So new graphic for that. We're going to have a preview of the Swamp Match tonight. We're also going to have AJ Styles taking on Drew Gulak Intercontinental Championship match. And we've got Sheamus toasting Jeff Hardy. Sheamus presents a toast to Jeff Hardy. I hope Renee gets better, says Michael. I agree. It should be called the Sexy People's Tea Murders. That would be a better name. We've got Michael Cole in the ring, so that's bad. Is it Matt Riddle, King of the Bros? I tell you what, when I think of bros, I think of Michael Cole. So this is going to make perfect TV, isn't it? Bro. Here comes Riddle. He's going to be a big star, man. Black belt in jiu-jitsu. He upset AJ Styles 2 weeks ago. Everyone wearing a mask now by the looks of it. Here we go. Oh, is there one person there that's not wearing a mask, actually, on the right-hand side? Everyone I've seen so far is wearing a mask, but there's someone on the right-hand side that looks like they're not. We're just seeing a couple of weeks ago. Here we go. A couple of bros in the ring. Two boys about to hit the town, paint the town red. I tell you what, if they did vignettes of Matt Riddle going out and hitting the town with Michael Cole, that could be some funny stuff. Michael Bro. Yes, Michael. The segment for Bray tonight is just a preview. Yeah. Here we go, Matt Riddle. Yeah, big smile on his face, man. The bro is here. I'm not sure about that attire. It looks kind of kinky. It looks very kinky, actually. It's like quite tight. It's like PVC. I'm sure I've seen videos of people wearing stuff like that. It kind of looks like he's borrowed it from Io Shirai. It's black with like fluorescent colours down. It does look like an Io Shirai kind of a jacket. He's got a lot of dreams, bro. Kinky. I'd say kinky. I respect you, bro. Matt Riddle says, I think I like AJ a little more than he likes me. Days must be tough. England looking up to younger brother USA. July 4th. We're Scott and you're Rick. Bro. Matt Riddle putting over the roster. Saying how excited he is. Look, he's having a little dance as well. It is incredible attire. And he's got his flip-flops on. That is a great question. Yeah. Why does he compete barefooted? It's a long story. He's going back to childhood. This is like a random kid story. So he had frostbite. The foots, bro. They thought of... What's the story that's starting SmackDown? I don't care if I'm hanging out with a bear. So apparently he got frostbite. And if he wears shoes, he still gets like a bit of a burning sensation. So he says, I don't care if it's a bar mitzvah. I don't care if I'm hanging out with a bear. I will not wear shoes. Well, there we go. That's strange, isn't it? I never knew that story. Has anyone heard that story before? The bros tootsies, says your boy Yoshi Sensei. Yeah. Here comes King Corbin. King Corbin apparently unhappy that he was going to be working with Matt Riddle. Thinks that Riddle needed to go and work with some enhancement talents first. Bro, are you serious? It's a random story, DJ B Tazzy, yeah? If you think about how Raw started with, like, Sasha and Asuka and Drew and Dolph all feuding and that contract signing being absolute chaos. Compare it to how SmackDown starts with Matt Riddle sharing a random story about how he got frostbite on his tootsies. This is a riot. Here's boring Corbin. I think it's just to get across Matt's personality, isn't it? Just to get him across as this fun-loving guy. Introduce him to the casual fans, you know? People that don't watch NXT that won't know who he is. Boos for King Corbin. I'm not going to call him King, says the Viking group. You're giving this guy airtime. King Corbin saying to Michael Cole, you should be ashamed of yourself. And he tells him to get out the ring, and he does. Am I meant to feel sorry for Michael Cole? Because I absolutely don't. Bye. I mean, this is all right. It's not bad for a first feud, you know. Look at the shocked face on Riddle. Corbin saying you should bow down to the king, and Riddle's like... He's reacting well to the crowd. I think when he's got actual fans, it's going to be electric with Riddle. I think the fans are really going to take to him. I mean, they did in NXT, you know. But he works arguably even better on Raw or SmackDown. The whole bro thing's... You do you, bro. You better be ready for a match at any moment. He is ready. He takes his hat off. He tosses it away. Let's go, bro. Riddle Corbin. Yes. I'm into Corbin, says Wrestling Days fam. Days, if WWE does Queen of the Ring, who would you want to win? I think... Oh, John Morrison making his way down. I think Charlotte would make a lot of sense. Keep her away from another world title, wouldn't it? And then at least you can go around saying, I told you I was the queen. John Morrison and Miz making their way down. Corbin is impressive on the mic, says General Snotty Notty. Morrison versus Riddle. Yeah. I tell you what, that could be a great match, actually. That could be a great match. I'd be down for that. Morrison versus Riddle could be a lot of fun. I don't mind that open, actually. I know a lot of people are going to look at that story and say that it's really random. And, you know, did it really deserve to start the show tonight? And I totally understand and I totally get that. But we've said this before. When you come up from NXT, you're resetting. You are resetting. I mean, you've got to remember that SmackDown gets 2 million viewers a week. NXT tends to get about 600,000. That means there's 1.4 million people that are not watching NXT. They might still keep up with it on, like, you know, YouTube and things like that. So I'm saying a good chunk of them people probably still are aware of Matt Riddle. But there's a good chunk of people that are not. So when you get brought up from NXT to Raw or SmackDown, they have to reintroduce you. It's kind of like hitting refresh in many ways. So, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're trying to get across his personality. They're trying to get across what Matt Riddle is all about. You know, the fact he's saying bro all the time and he's so chilled and why he doesn't wear shoes. And in fairness, I hadn't heard that story. It's such a random story, but I hadn't heard it before. So, yeah, really, really, really interesting stuff. Really different, bit strange. And but I think it gets his personality across. And, I mean, look, it looks like we're going to build towards John Morrison versus Matt Riddle now. And that should be a great match. So, where is Sullivan? No one knows. I like NXT, says Kevin. Jerry says, a strange start to the show, but it was good. Riddle is still the bro that runs the show, says John. I don't watch NXT. But I do know some of the wrestlers, says Big Dog. There we go. You should watch NXT. It is good. It is good. It is different. There's no denying that, you know, there's more, or they try to make Raw and SmackDown humorous. They don't always succeed. There's less humor in NXT. It is more wrestling focused. But it is still very good. Morrison, Rob Van Dam would have been a great team. Right, we are just at commercial break right now. And we will, when we go back, I think we're going back to Morrison and Riddle. We know that we've got Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. They're going to be doing that toast We know we've got the Intercontinental title match, the Wyatt Swamp Match, or the Swamp Wyatt Match, or whatever it's called. We're getting a preview of that, and that could be quite interesting. Depends how much of a preview it is. If it's just going to be a history and we're just going to see clips that we've seen before, I'm not going to be so into that. But if they're going to show us the swamp, if they're going to show us where the match is going to take place, then that could be quite interesting. Imtiaz saying, yes, Island, yes. I agree. That is going to be a lot of fun. Fight Island on the way. Morrison isn't an enhancement talent. Can't wait for Extreme Rules, says Balor Club. So, Matt Riddle. Nice takedown to Morrison, who rolls over to the ropes. The Swamp Manor, says Swamp Manor. Okay, here we go. The two of these two circling around each other, looking to lock up. I don't think they mentioned that Matt was in UFC, did they? Matt Riddle is a trained MMA fighter who has been in the UFC. Looking for knee bar, heel hook. Over to the ropes goes John Morrison again. Baseball is back. July 25th. Baseball is coming back. Big news. Oh, that was a big strike by Morrison. Knee to the midsection. I don't think Riddle was expecting that. Riddle looking for a Kimura. Lovely work by Riddle, but he gets slammed down by Morrison. We've got Corbin on commentary. Gut wrench suplex. Rolling over. Nice. He's still got another gut wrench on. He's looking for another gut wrench suplex. And he's continuing to hold. Matt Riddle taking John Morrison to suplex. Gut wrench suplex city. Alabama slam. Nice. Rolls through by Morrison. Against the ropes. Looking for a kick. And Riddle catches it. And he is looking for an ankle lock. And he's got it. Nice. Reversal by John Morrison. Riddle holding on. Again applying that ankle lock. Middle of the ring. John Morrison going to have to try and find that escape again. But he's pretty close to the ropes. He's got him into a German. Lands on his feet though, John Morrison. Springboard. Nice. Big kick by John Morrison. Some nice action in here. Not everything as crisp as you would like to see. But good. Some good action. Days, when do you think Riddle will win a title? When do you think Riddle will win a title? I think it'll be a little while. Right, Riddle is down by the ropes. Morrison is going over, grabbing Riddle. Strike to the midsection by Riddle. Knee to the midsection by Morrison. Strike across the back. Headlock by Morrison. Miz trying to get people to chant, hey, hey, ho, ho. I can't understand why there are a few people in the crowd that don't have masks on. Like, there's a majority do. But I can see, like, I think Jessamine... Is it Marina Shafir, actually? I think Marina Shafir doesn't have one on. It's just, there's a couple of people that don't have masks. Forearm strikes coming in by Riddle. Morrison thrown over to the corner. Riddle missing. Morrison in the ring. I don't know what's going on here. Morrison. Nice. Twisting crossbody. And he only gets a 2 count. Something about this match that's not sucking me into it. I can't quite tell what it is. I think it's because there's just a little bit of mistiming. Like, they'll go over to the corner, but the other person won't be there. They'll be out the way, and it's just a little bit where it just seems something seems off. Something seems off, and I can't quite put my finger on it. It just seems like there's a few missed timings. Nothing disastrous, nothing that's like crazy botches, but the match just doesn't seem like that there. Matt Riddle tried to grab the leg. You got John Morrison hopping, and Matt Riddle just had to let go because there was nowhere for them to go. Couple of knee strikes coming in by Morrison. 2. Shoulder up by Riddle. It's good but not smooth, says Sean. Yeah, there's nothing offensive. There's nothing in this match that I'm like, wow, this is awful. Or did you see that botch? It's just, I was hoping for a bit more. Open hand strike. Strike's coming back by John Morrison. Forearm strike. Kick to the chest. Matt Riddle just took it. And he says, come on, give me some more. I like that. That's good. Another kick. Chop coming back by Riddle. So Riddle inviting these kicks. Hello, John Morrison taking off his elbow pad. Ah, and a poke to the eyes. A poke to the eyes by John Morrison. Poke to the eyes by John Morrison. Riddle, though. Nice reversal by Riddle. Both guys are down. Why is Morrison still with The Miz? He'd be so much better on his own. I do agree. And Miz and Morrison as a team just doesn't excite me at all. Here we go. Riddle up on his feet, going over to the outside. They both forearm strike each other. Matt goes down out of the ring. Morrison goes down in the ring. That was quite good. Riddle? Riddle out of nowhere, just attacking King Corbin? Matt Riddle out of nowhere, just attacking King Corbin? Interesting. I am an adult, more crazy stuff going on. Shout out Tony. Who would win, Matt Riddle or AJ Styles? Depends what story they want to tell, doesn't it? There's a guy in the crowd has no mask on. A fine coming for that guy. There's a couple, actually. I thought everyone, at the start, I thought everyone had masks on because the vast majority do. Certainly more than we've ever seen before. But you can just spot a few people that don't. So there's more than one there. So I don't know if they'll be fined or when this was recorded or what's actually happening. But I have heard that WWE are looking to bring that rule in. So I'd imagine future episodes you will see everyone wearing a mask that's in the crowd. I don't know why they don't just get rid of the crowd. Honestly, I do not know why they don't get rid of the crowd. Because I understand it might add a little something. But we went through a good period of time with no crowd whatsoever. The US right now is going through its worst phase when it comes to coronavirus. Like, there's been the most cases reported in the past few days. This isn't a second spike. This is the absolute peak of it for the US. And so if you didn't have a crowd before, why have you even got a crowd now? Doesn't make any sense. Don't have a crowd. Is this live or taped? I've got a sneaky suspicion it's taped. I think it's taped. I love the Morrison poke of the eyes. Yes, that was good. That was good. Boring Corbin sucks, says Kyle. Can you say bald Corbin or barren cardboard? I can say both, and I just said both. Days, I agree. Remove the wrestlers. What do you think about Morrison as a singles with The Miz as his manager? I think it's a bit soon for The Miz to be a manager. I like John Morrison. I think John Morrison is in a similar position to Jeff Hardy. I think they could both have a final good run. I think Jeff Hardy could have a good run. I think John Morrison could have a good run. I don't think that they're looking to use John Morrison that way. I think that we will get a match between Morrison and Miz eventually. I can see them turning on each other. But, yeah, clearly they don't want to tell that story yet. But I like Morrison. I think he's a good talent. Why do they need masks if everyone has been tested and doesn't have COVID? I don't know if everyone has been tested, to be honest. I don't know. I know that everyone wasn't being tested. It was an absolute sham. Everyone should have been tested, but I know not everyone was. We were about to go back. We're almost a quarter of the way through. It's been the Matt Riddle show, hasn't it? He came out, he's told his story about his tootsies. Then he had a little back and forth with Corbin. Now we've had this first match, and they've given it a good chunk of time as well, this first match. So far, it's Friday Night Riddle. Corbin no longer on commentary. He's at ringside. Miz is at ringside. Matt Riddle is outnumbered here. Matt Riddle is not making friends. Belly to belly, goes for the kick, standing moonsault, lands on his feet. Nice senton. The Broton, sorry. The Broton. The Bro to sleep! The Bro to sleep! I'd love to know how Kenta feels about the Bro to sleep. Kenta was the person that created that. CM Punk most famous for it. Matt Riddle stealing it and calling it the Bro to sleep. Up top. Oh, comes crashing down, but Morrison getting his knees up. This match feeling a lot smoother now. Here we go, looking. Oh, I love that. Went high, but actually changed last second, went low. Picks up Riddle. He's got him up on his shoulder. Looking for like a razor's edge. Razor's edge? No. Lovely. Planting him down with a side slam and just gets a 2 count. Days, AEW shouldn't have wrestlers either. I agree. The bro mission? I don't understand. Has every wrestling move just got bro in it now? If we're going to have like the bros line. The full broson. The full broson. Oh, he's put on the full broson. He's looking for the broplex. A bro to belly suplex. This is rubbish. I'm not a big fan of bro mission. Bro to sleep's all right. But this is madness. Here we go. They're up top. Okay, wow, just... what is he looking for? Oh! It's like a Spanish fly by John Morrison. And again... Spanish fly too. Kick out. Oh! That was pretty good. Morrison there looking for like a Spanish fly off the top. He then picks him up, does a Spanish fly again in the ring. And he can only get a 2. As I said, this match a bit crisper now. Definitely this match has improved. I'm impressed, says Amina. RK bro, says Swamp Manor. Yeah, he could start doing that. The RK bro. Nice, grabbing the leg. Lovely Pele kick. By Riddle. Looking. Ah, big knee strike. Knee goes down. He was looking for the power bomb. Drop kick by Morrison. Against the ropes. Up over the top. Is he going to get the power bomb? Gets the power bomb. There's the knee strike. Morrison down. 2. Shoulder up. Wow. Wow, they're giving this match some time. They are really investing in Matt Riddle. They are really investing in him. Just look at this. The first half an hour has been all Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle has carried a quarter of this show. I mean, not on his own, but like, you know, he's been the center point. Miz gets up, forearm strike by Riddle. He goes to forearm strike Corbin. John Morrison trying to roll up Riddle. Now he's trying to grab the leg. Lovely reversal. Lovely reversal. Wow. Matt Riddle with a brilliant pin there. I don't understand. There's a couple of people in the crowd. There was a girl in the crowd there, and she kind of like had her hands clasped, and she was just kind of looking at Matt Riddle. AJ Styles attacking from behind. Like, not everyone in the crowd is doing a very good job of being a crowd member. That was my point. You know what I mean? You'd expect them all to be like, yeah, bro. But this one girl was just like, AJ came out. He starts attacking Matt Riddle. Drew Gulak comes out. He starts attacking AJ Styles. We got King Corbin out there. We got Miz out there. We got a very upset Morrison. It is carnage. Big win, says Daniel. Innocent Bird says a beautiful match. Bob K says the K-Bro punch. Bro. Yeah, man. I think I'd make a really good crowd member. If this is recorded, I'll give it my all WWE. I'll wear a mask and everything. Fiend mask. That's what I would wear. Fiend mask. Yowie wowie. Days, who is someone who would like to feud with Riddle? Wow, I mean, yeah, right up there. You'd have AJ Styles. AJ is the best. And we already saw how great that match was the first time that they faced each other. So a feud between AJ and Matt Riddle. You are shooting Riddle to the moon. I mean, we've always said, haven't we, that when people get called up, they don't get treated very well. They don't get treated quite right. And, wow, it's just not the case, is it, with Matt Riddle? Matt Riddle just being taken to the moon. Sister Brogale. Maybe that could be his new character. Maybe he could join the Funhouse as Sister Brogale. Where is the Hacker tonight? No, we haven't seen the Hacker in ages, have we? So I'm not expecting the Hacker. What do you think will happen with the NXT Women's title once Kairi leaves? Well, Kairi isn't champion at the moment. Io Shirai is. So Io will potentially stay as champion. And I think there's a good chance that Io now will be put with Asuka when she gets called up. I would have loved that triple threat, and I don't think we get it, unfortunately. I really don't. IC title match next. Yeah, that would make sense, yeah. It upsets me that the IC title match is not the main event. I wonder what the main event is. It upsets me as well, actually. I wonder what the main event is. Brock and Riddle would bring heat, but it would get too personal. I don't think Brock's doing that match. I don't think Brock's doing it. For the longest time, Matt Riddle has said Matt Riddle has always said he wants to retire Brock Lesnar. And Brock has, I think, responded and said, you know, stay in your own lane. Do you know what I mean? It's not happening. And it's not going to happen. If Brock don't want it to happen, it's not happening. And the thing is that with wrestling, you need to be doing a lot of talking behind the scenes, you know? You need to be talking to Brock. You need to be planting seeds and talking to Vince. It's not like the UFC. With the UFC, you can come out and say, call someone out and say, I want to fight you, and then the fight is made. It doesn't work that way in WWE. It's all scripted and planned out and storyline and all that kind of stuff. So you can't just come out and call people out. And I think that's what Matt Riddle has done a lot of. And it doesn't work that way. I mean, he wants Goldberg. He wants Brock. He wants these people, but I'm not sure he's going to get them because I don't think they want him. Matt Riddle. The Bromore kick. People having a lot of fun. Yeah, she does, doesn't she? She does interrupt people. Look, even John Morrison's having a go at Sarah. They were having a private conversation, right? Here she comes, Interruptatron 2000. Oh, I hate that woman. I hate that woman. They're having a... I don't even know what she said. I wasn't listening. Oh! Stop interrupting people, Sarah. Unbelievable. She's the biggest heel going for me. She is the biggest heel in all of WWE. Put her in a match against Asuka. I'm telling you, that's my dream. That's now my dream match. That is now my dream match. Sarah, whatever her name is, Sarah Interruptatron, right? Put her in a match against Asuka. But I do not. How? J14. How? Days seems like he loves Sarah. How? At what point did you just look at what I just said there? And the anger that oozed out of me. At what point did you go, I think he likes her? You have not got very good reading skills. Your body language skills are not where they need to be. I've been very vocal about that woman for a long, long time. And even John Morrison pointing it out there, thank you. Even John Morrison was like, you just interrupted me. Wrestling Days fan said she's a nice person. Nice people don't interrupt. If she's a really nice person, then she would have learnt manners. Manners are very important. She does not possess any. Someone should teach her manners. That's a segment I would watch. I would watch that. Lacey Evans teaches the Interruptatron manners. I'd watch that segment. That's perfect for Lacey Evans. It's perfect. She's a lady. I'm going to send that idea to Vince. I'm going to send that idea into Vince. Lacey Evans teaches the can't even say the word. Interruptatron some manners. We are underway with a match as well, by the way. We have got AJ Styles against Drew Gulak right now. Intercontinental title match, and I mean, look, it's middle of the card. As a result, I don't think any of us are expecting the title to change hands, which is a real shame. Elbow to the back of the head. Drew Gulak has got some lovely stars and stripes pants on. Some trunks. Celebrating the anniversary of the sexy people leaving. Lacey Evans equals etiquette coach. Yes. Yes. There's Ebro Shirai. There we go. They're meant for each other. Hey, Days, how about Sarah Schreiber? Oh, yeah, that's her name. Versus Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan's, unfortunately not with WWE anymore, is she? I thought she was going to come back, but apparently she has retired, and there's rumours that she's going to go into MMA. We're hearing from Daniel Bryan on Zoom. Nice knee drop. Are we getting like... Is Daniel Bryan doing a live watch-along? Is Daniel Bryan taking my job? You don't see me getting in the ring trying to take Daniel Bryan's job, do you? Gee, Daniel! Know your role! Know your role and shut your mouth! Daniel Bryan. Oh, the last thing I need is live watch-alongs on screen. I'll be unemployed. Nice takedown there by AJ. Sarah, interrupt Bray. Do it. That would be amazing. Interrupt Bray. Excuse me. Fiend, are you really, like, the darkness? She doesn't even ask good questions. I hate that woman. I hate that woman. She had something burning that she had to ask, you know? So I've got to ask this now. And she did it once. I could maybe let it slide. It's just... There's no need for it. There's too many problems in this world already. We don't need her adding more. Here we go. Gulak. Foot on the bottom rope, and AJ putting pressure on the knee joint. That looks brutal, actually. No knee pads on Gulak. Daniel, thank you, my friend. Heather says, uh-oh, Days has got competition. Well, I'll tell you now, if Daniel Bryan starts doing watch-alongs, I'm going to start training. I'm going to start training. They're going to call me the English Dragon. Dazel Bryan. That's what I'll call myself. Dazel Bryan. Dazel Bryan, the English Dragon. And I'm going to get a wife, and she's going to be called Cheddar Bella. Cheddar Bella? I'm going to have a wife called Cheddar Bella? Ah! He brought it on himself. He brought it on himself. Me and Cheddar Bella are not going to stand by and watch this happen. Oh, I wish I had a wife. If I had a wife, right now, her name would be changing. Via deed, legally, I would be changing her name to Cheddar Bella. And it's a beautiful name as well. Cheddar Bella. Cheddar Bella. AJ's very upset. He's very frustrated. Gulak has been getting the better here. Going over. Lovely. Lovely basement drop kick there. AJ Styles goes flying back as we go to commercial break. Dazel Bryan. The brogue kick. You're right, Bob. You are right. Daze, have you ever been to a WWE event? Yes. Not like a pay-per-view, but a couple of Raws. And they've even shown me in the crowd a couple of times. You can spot me at, like, the first NXT Blackpool. You can see me. You can see me at the UK Championship Tournament. You can see me in the crowd when they were at... You can see me in a crowd. You can see me in a crowd. Check me out. Quoting Billie Eilish songs. You can see me in the crowd. You can see me in the crowd. Oh my God, someone should do that song. Why has no one done a cover of Billie Eilish, You Should See Me in a Crown? Changed it to You Should See Me in the Crowd, and then just show pictures of the guy with the green shirt. Ah! Green shirt guy. Green shirt guy, if you're watching, you have got to release a cover of Billie Eilish, You Should See Me in a Crowd. You've got to make that You Should See Me in the Crowd. Green shirt guy. Could you imagine the video? Oh my God. Can I spoof that? Is there a way I can spoof? I'm going to spoof it. I might try and spoof it. I wonder if I can order like a green shirt, right? And then I can do a video where I'm like, I'll dress as Billie Eilish, but I'll wear green shirt guy's shirt and I'll sing the song, You Should See Me in the Crowd. You should see me in the crowd. I'm gonna turn this real loud. Yes, that is. Oh, you should see me in the crowd. Oh, I don't know where that's come from. No idea. I don't even know how we got onto this conversation or what I was talking about. But that is gold. That is absolute gold. Green shirt. I want green shirt guy to have the idea. He can do that better than I can do that. Because then he can use all his pictures. Do you know what I mean? It's the perfect way. Like, imagine him just like dancing. Yeah? You should see me in the crowd. And then in the background, just all the pictures of him at different shows. Oh, it's the best. It's the best. That's it. We've reached the pinnacle of YouTube streaming. I think this is it. I think this is the mountaintop. I don't think there's any idea I can ever come up with that's gonna meet this. Top this, beat this. This is it. Enjoy the view, my friends. Enjoy the view. because we are doing some crazy stuff here right now. But we can't focus on that silliness anymore. We've got to go back. We have not been paying this match the kind of attention. Hello. Asuka? Bayley? I don't understand. Did the voiceover guy just call Bayley insufferable? I don't understand. Did the voiceover guy just call Bayley insufferable? Could you imagine if you worked for a company and that company put a video out of you and in that video they described you as insufferable? How does that work? How does that work? Insufferable? Asuka takes on the insufferable Bayley. Hello, HR? Yeah, you'll never guess the video that's just been aired on TV, that's been seen by millions of people. Do you know what my employer has just called me? No, not wonderful. No, not treasured. No, you would think treasured, wouldn't you? No, not treasured. No. Insufferable. My employer has just said to millions of people that I'm insufferable. I might have misheard it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it said. I think she can sue. Honestly, I think there's grounds there to take her employer to court. And now Daniel's back! What are you doing? Go away! Daniel Bryan just spoke there for a good 30 seconds, and I didn't hear anything close, anything remotely close to "you should see me in the crowd." I didn't hear any ideas or anything on that scale. So this is no shade on Daniel Bryan, but stick in your lane, mate. Right? You're one of the best in the ring. Don't come after me. Trying to take me down. You should see me in the crowd. Back elbow by AJ Styles. Shoulder up by AJ. Nice reversal there. He's managed to grab hold of the arm, AJ. Almost 50 odd minutes into this show. Woo! Days, the person who reads your donations is Brie Bella. Amazing. Days, Daniel is coming for you. I know. I've got my eye on him. Don't you worry. I'm fully aware of this. I can see him. Oh, I thought he's popping up again then. Something else just popped up. And honestly, I was like, I can't cope. Not someone else. But it was just an advert for Kentucky. I don't know why. Perhaps they need more tourists or something. Nice stomp by Gulak. Kick to the midsection. AJ Styles is down. Gulak grabbing AJ. Fighting over the ropes. Gulak goes over that top rope. Goes down on the outside. What's the point of commentators? Yeah, I mean, I knew this as well. Drew Gulak is very good with cradles. He's good with babies and everything. So Daniel Bryan is not telling you anything I'm not telling you. I've been saying all throughout this stream, Gulak is very good with cradles. Gulak trying to grab hold of AJ's hair. Front face lock by AJ Styles. And Gulak dropping AJ on that face first onto that top turnbuckle. Days, have you heard that AJ and CM Punk are beefing? I did hear this. Why isn't Daniel at the commentary table? I just don't know. I'm guessing he's just not there. Perhaps he's self-isolating or something. Or since like it all flared up again, perhaps he decided he wanted to stay away. Against the ropes goes AJ. Nice drop kick by Gulak. And again, AJ goes down. And another one as well. Yeah, he is. He's getting smashed with these drop kicks. AJ holding on to that top rope. Gulak scooping him up. Oh, that was nasty. That was nasty. Modified Michinoku driver. Ugh. That was nasty. I thought that was just going to be a straightforward power slam. Kind of spiked him a bit on his head. Here we go. AJ Styles up top. Gulak going up. Superplex. Looks like that's what he's going for. AJ, though, managing to escape, takes the legs away from Gulak. AJ slumps down. Some nice action in this match. AJ going over, goes into the corner. Gulak, oh, gets caught. Gulak's been caught. Powerbomb into a Styles clash. That's got to be it. That's got to be it. Styles clash. He's not going for the pin, though. Oh, where's Daniel now? Where's Daniel now? Styles saying no. Styles saying no. He doesn't want to finish it just yet. Bearded Dragon. Days wants a dragon name. Just call yourself Viziron, the White Walker Dragon. Okay. It's a bit mouthy. That Styles clash should have put Gulak away. But he has propped Gulak up. Is this going to backfire on AJ? He had the opportunity to put Gulak away. Oh! Phenomenal forearm does connect though. 2, 3. It doesn't backfire. AJ Styles wins. So a Styles clash. He propped up Gulak. Phenomenal forearm. Gulak goes down. And you're right. That was 2 good matches in a row. It was 2 good matches in a row. This has been a very solid 50-odd minutes. Maybe not spectacular, but very solid. So much better than last week. Great match, says John. Great ending, says Wrestling Days fam. Forrest Gordon, shout out to you. Kevin says, you are the bearded dragon. Oh, yeah, I could use that. Are we building towards AJ Matt Riddle for the IC title? Because I'm down for it. We've got Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. There's going to be a toast to Jeff Hardy. So we've still got that to come tonight. Here's Bayley and Sasha coming out of the... Are those the trailers where the changing rooms are, or... It's going to be a tribute to Bayley and Sasha next. That could be fun. This Tuesday, we've got Royal Rumble 2017. Royal Rumble 2017. The action starts this Tuesday at 7 p.m. That could be interesting. I don't know if we did a watch along for that Rumble. Don't think we were doing watch alongs then, so could we try watching that on Tuesday? That's my thought process. I don't know how many people have got FS1. But, I don't know, could that be something that we do? Oh, hang on, I can't do it because I record Wrestling Escape Pod. Here's me going, we could watch that, but I don't even think I can. I'm just so busy, guys. I'm so busy. Bayley DOS straps. Shout out to Ashley. Where Roman was booed out of the building, says Michael. You might need to narrow that down, Michael, because that has happened quite a few times. Asuka's green mist is back. Is it worth it, though, says General Snotty Notty. You know what? I can't even remember it. I've obviously seen it, and I will have done videos on the channel about it. I can't even remember it. Halftime scores. Yeah, do them now. Get them in. Get your halftime scores in now. We got, by the time we go back, it'll only be a minute or so before, won't it? A couple of minutes before, so. Yeah, fire your scores in. Days, check the edit that I've made of you on Twitter. I will try and do that. Where did you send it me? Get your, whilst I'm checking this, that means you can be getting your halftime scores in. Get your halftime scores in. Oh, hello. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. I tell you, she's done an awesome job. Look what Monica King's done. She's actually put "You Should See Me in a Crown" in the background, and we've got like this crazy edit going on. Yes! Yes! That is fire. I am definitely sharing that. Oh, and you tagged Billie Eilish in as well. Of course you did. Billie will want to see that. Billie will definitely want to see that. Woopack WWE as well. Sending me over a picture of, there he is, the legend green shirt guy. I can't really show him because of the green screen. It doesn't quite work. But that's, Monica, that's awesome. I've got it playing on my phone now. You should see me in a crowd. Right, here comes the legit boss. Here's all the scores. Lots of 6.5s and 5s. Wow, that's lower than I was expecting. 7. I didn't fall asleep out of 10, says Jim. I didn't fall asleep out of 10. And can we ask for much more than that these days? Will you watch Impact's Slammiversary? No, I don't think so. I don't tend to watch Impact, to be honest. So I wouldn't know the backstory or anything. Sasha and Bayley making their way down. They're not in wrestling attire, so I'm not expecting anything here. Here's Bayley, look, showing off her belts. Here's Bayley, look, Bayley, showing off her DOS straps. And they're talking about what Sasha went through on NXT. Stars and Stripes shades that Bayley has got. Thumbs down. Crowd aren't feeling it. Do you know where Doncaster is? No. I know of it. I've heard of it, but could I point to it on a map? I might struggle. Do you know the week that we've had? The Empress of Yesterday. Sasha says we're not mentioning that. So they've been on Raw, they've been on NXT, now here they are on SmackDown. Sasha 3 shows? Bayley 3 brands? Still, we get no respect, says Bayley. I think these two are MVPs, I tell you, of this lockdown. Ding dong. The Undertaker. Has The Undertaker got respect for them? Oh, he called Bayley. What did he say? Is this an Undertaker impression? Bayley dosh straps. I'm embarrassed. At the tribute that you paid to me. When clearly you are the greatest champion. This is funny. And it's such a powerful impression as well. This is good. They've got an opportunity to speak. They're saying something. They're doing something. They're having some fun. He knows what's up. There we go. They should do a tribute for you, so that's what we're getting now. Yes. If that's what Taker wants. And finally, The Undertaker is out. This is good. I'm really into this. Why can't we do the tribute tonight? Well, there we go. Who's interrupting, though? Oh, here we go. A tribute to Sasha and Bayley. So here we go. We got a video package, a little tribute to Sasha and Bayley. This apparently at the request of The Undertaker, who called Bayley up, which, I mean, there's no reason to disbelieve that happened. This is great. Do you know what? I think that these two potentially have really helped ratings. Certainly down in NXT. And it could be that they're going to get a little bit of a push here. I mean, they're already on all three brands. But look at this segment that they're giving them. This is really good. Bayley speaking in Thugonomics. Is it me or do we keep seeing Kalisto's wife? I don't know. Now you mention it, yeah? Maybe we do. But that is... isn't it that Carolina who was she was in a tag team with Sin Cara for a short time? They were in like a mixed tag team. It might be her. So we're just seeing this from Bayley. Is Undertaker the hacker? Yes. Daniel says this has gone up a level. Why don't you watch Impact? I've just never watched it. I want to marry Sasha, says Mike. Sasha says, I've never seen anyone as good as Bayley. There we go. We got a bit of footage from Wednesday. I love it when she's screaming at Michael Cole. That was them arriving on Wednesday in that car as well. So there we go. We've had the little video package. Thank you, Bayley. Thank you, Sasha. Who is interrupting? It is Alexa. Alexa and Nikki Cross making their way. As I said, Bayley and Sasha aren't in wrestling attire. The truth will be heard, says Bray Wyatt fan. Wrestling Days fan says it was great. Okay, so they've got a list of their own achievements. Isn't the Queen of Scotland? I think the Queen is the Queen of Scotland. Is that true? Green shirt guy, you should see me in the crowd, is coming to stores on CD, cassette, and vinyl on the 4th of July. Alexa drove across Antarctica in a go-kart. Okay. They screw up and throw those lists away. It didn't land as much for me. I really like these two as well. Now, you guys know how ridiculous you guys sound, right? You guys know how ridiculous you sound. Days, don't you just love Nikki's accent? It's all right. I don't know if I love it. It's all right. Nikki says, it's okay, Lexi, I've got this. She's very good at promos. Nikki says that she knows that she can take that title. Of course, Bayley is going to be taking on Nikki Cross at Extreme Rules. Bayley laughing in the face of Nikki, gets slapped. Gets slapped by Alexa. I love how Sasha stepped in and tried to hold her back with the microphone. You get back, you. So, has Sasha just made a match for Bayley? So, Sasha now making matches for Bayley. Interesting. I miss heel Alexa. I loved that one match when Nikki was on commentary. Luke, I completely agree. I've had a lot of praise for Nikki. A lot of praise. I think that she's been doing some really good work. I think that WWE feel the same, and as a result, she's got this championship opportunity. But I think looking at how they're presenting Bayley and Sasha right now, they are really positioned in a very, very strong place. They are really being pushed. For them to have that moment where they get to go out there and talk about having The Undertaker on the phone and that video package, being on all three brands, Bayley with the Women's Championship, both of them with the tag titles. We already know that we're getting Bayley versus Asuka on Raw as well, so yeah, they're positioned so strong. So strong, being pushed really hard, but it is working, it is paying. I do think that they're entertaining. And seemingly, whenever they're on, the ratings always seem to be quite strong. We've always said, though, they've got a lot of those, like, hardcore stan accounts, haven't they, of people that follow them. So they've got a good basis, a good fan base. And I just think they're landing with the casual fans as well. Certainly landing with me. If they're on, I want to watch them because I find them entertaining. I think Sasha is going to turn on Bayley tonight, says Queen of Roblox. The slow build for Sasha Bayley is amazing so far, says EJ Movement. DJ B Tazzy says another slap on another WWE show. Yeah, there are quite a lot, aren't there? Jerry, Days, I liked the Sasha Bayley thing, but not the way they were doing Taker. That's what it's there for. They're heels, aren't they? That's what they're there to do, is to heal it up. They know that you love Undertaker, so they're going to take the mick out of him, get some of that heat. If you've got some heat for them, if you're a little bit angry at them for what they just did with their impression of Undertaker, then it's exactly what they wanted. I forgot that Nikki was #1 contender. Yeah, that was established last week, wasn't it? It was established last week. Is Otis there for tonight? I don't think so. I've not heard that he is. He could be. But there's been nothing in the preview that Otis is around. Bayley and Sasha are doing great, says Monica. Days, do you think Sasha will win the title at Extreme Rules? There is a chance. There is a chance. They're pushing these two hard, and they really could give them all of the belts. If Sasha's going to win, then you would think that Bayley would retain. Wouldn't you, you know? Because surely they would want to put all the belts on them. We are about to go back. We're just looking at an advert for the WWE Network. I guess we're going to build to Bayley versus Undertaker. No. They're just using Undertaker to get some quick heat. Sasha Bayley are going to lose the women's tag titles and then duke it out in a rivalry, says Robert. When will we find out who the hacker is? Well, I feel like that story hasn't been dropped. I think it is just on hold. So, hopefully, some point this year. Right, Bayley is having to compete in civilian attire, which is always quite fun. She's in casual shoes. She's not in wrestling boots. She's not in wrestling attire. So she's just out there having to wrestle in what she walked out in. Kicks coming in by Alexa. So we're getting Bayley versus Alexa. Bayley on her knees, climbing over to the corner, gets thrown into the corner. Alexa charging over, goes for a slap, but gets caught by Bayley. Oh! That little bop on the forehead. I think she just did a bit of a Chris Statlander. Alexa Bliss. Just gave her a little bop. Goes with a vicious trip by Alexa. Bayley goes down. Alexa looking for double knees. Comes back with those double knees. 1, 2. Kick out by Bayley. It's not going well for Bayley here. Guys, you can save 25% off championship titles. I'm guessing that's today only. Exactly the same as it was on Monday and Wednesday. Alexa, in between the ropes, gets caught. She goes to the outside. She trips Bayley. I can't believe how fast this show has gone. We've only got about 45 minutes left. Bayley with a big kick to Alexa. Sasha on the outside with all of the belts. Nikki out there. Bayley is trying to stomp down on the arm of Alexa. Here we go. Bayley going over to Alexa. Working on the arm in the corner. Dragging Alexa into the middle of the ring. It's a lot more motivated Bayley, this. Comes crashing down on the arm. Going for the cover. Only gets a 1. She's going to have to do more than that to put Alexa away. Stop hitting yourself. Oh, I love that. That's a classic. Stop hitting yourself. She was getting Alexa to slap herself. Now she's got double wrist lock. Down goes Alexa. You'll never get my title, baby. Down goes Alexa. Going for a quick pin. Alexa really selling the damage that's been done to the arm. Bayley charging over. Back elbow to Alexa. She's doing a bit of showboating as well. Down goes Alexa. Stomped by Bayley. Bayley coming over. Again, working on the arm. Nice reversal there by Alexa. Goes with a back elbow. Poke. Is it a poke in the eye? I don't know if it was a poke or a strike by Alexa, but Bayley goes down. So both women are down right now. And Bayley to the outside. Smashing Alexa's arm against the edge of the ring. Oh, you're right. So, Nikki's gone over to the commentary table. She's banging on the commentary table. Bayley charging over. Big splash in the corner. Grabs Alexa. Running bulldog by Bayley. 1, 2. And a shoulder up by Alexa. Alexa in a bad way here. She's not really fighting back. And Bayley going back to that arm. Bayley trying to get the crowd to clap along and support her. But the crowd aren't interested. Nikki trying to get the crowd to chant Lexi. This is the worst crowd in the world. You've got Nikki Cross trying to get the crowd to chant Lexi. They're not interested. They're not doing anything. Nikki Cross goes round, collides into Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks goes down. Bayley saying, do you hear me? Stay out of my business. Forearm strike. It's going to be a DQ win for Bayley. Big strikes coming in for Nikki Cross. So, as we said, we're building towards this match between these two at Extreme Rules. Sasha managing to grab the leg of Bayley, pulling her out of the ring. Not a bad little match, that. Not a bad little match. Marina Shafir did have a mask. Look at her just staring. Marina Shafir just standing and staring behind Sasha. Nikki comes over. I'd love to see Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke against Bayley and Sasha. We got a toast coming up. Just over 40 minutes left of this show. Days, I liked it better without a crowd. This crowd is annoying. Do you know what? I got to agree, man. I think at the start, the crowd was great. Bringing them in, and it did give it that energy that was missing. But they're asking too much of this crowd. They're asking too much of them. They need to be rotating the crowd so the crowd can be fresh and have some energy. The crowd has gone stale. The crowd has gone stale. It's because they're having to stand and watch Raw, and they have to then go over to NXT, and then they use for SmackDown, and like the tape-ins, and they're tired, man. I think they're tired. They just don't have the enthusiasm that they need. Plus, they're worried about COVID, and they're all standing there. They're wearing masks, and they're all spaced out, and it's all like, just get rid of them. Just get rid of them. You don't need it. It's really not providing enough to run the risk of having them there. Get rid of them. If they were great, if they were like a red hot crowd and they were coming up with their own chants and they were, you know, really getting involved. Honestly, I don't know if I've seen a more bored crowd. I don't know if I've seen a more bored crowd, and they're being paid. And the show's not even bad. It's not a bad show. It's not a bad show at all. I think we've had 3 decent matches. There's been very little filler. I really enjoyed the Bayley-Sasha segment. I thought the first segment with Matt Riddle was good. Kind of gets his personality across. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if we're sitting here suffering awful match and awful promos and stuff. There's been some alright stuff. It's been a really solid show. Way better than last week. But that crowd is a real downer. Braun and Bray coming up next, says James Chadwick. Days will Sheamus bring fella? I don't think so. Donald Jackson, shout out to you. Pablo Gamer says Sasha is going to betray Bayley at Extreme Rules. Days, did you see that Edge and Triple H, hang on, let's go back up to it, just disappeared, endorsed Timothy Thatcher? No. It's no great surprise, though, because he is a great talent. Jim says, I heard the crowd is not being paid. What, are they on furlough or something? Have they all been furloughed? I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that they've been furloughed. I mean, they're still on the books, aren't they? They're still WWE talent. I'd be very surprised if they're not being paid. So as I said, I haven't heard that they've been furloughed. Green shirt guy must have a room in his house full of pay-per-view chairs. That's true, yeah. Also, they think the "You Suck" chant is strong enough, but it's just not, says Jonathan. Days, maybe the main event is because the hacker will show. I don't know. I just don't sit here and wait for that anymore. I'm not sitting here waiting for the hacker, and I'm not sitting here waiting for Sasha and Bayley to turn. If it happens, it happens, but 99.9% of the time it obviously doesn't. So I'm just going to wait for it to happen and not worry about it. Another advert for the Royal Rumble this Tuesday. It's been voted, David, on Sunday. We're going to be watching King of the Ring 1998. That is when Undertaker took on Mankind in the Hell in a Cell match and he throws him off. It's one of... I know when the network first started, that was the most watched match. I know that for a fact. So I don't know if it still is. I doubt it still is. But that show, Attitude Era, King of the Ring, with that match, Undertaker Mankind, when Undertaker hurls Mankind off the top of that cell. Right, we are actually seeing the Wyatt Swamp. So this is quite interesting. We do have the Wyatt Swamp. Crocodiles. Which is no great surprise because we have seen them before. So we're seeing a lot of imagery from Eater of Worlds. Wyatt Swamp preview. We saw Rowan again. Keep showing us Rowan. Never see Harper. It's a good little video package. But nothing in there that's that revealing. Well, not yet anyway. What's the main event? Has it been announced? No. This is interesting. Well, we know we've got that toast coming up. We've only got 37 minutes. So, this is the return of Eater of Worlds, Bray. That was cool. That was a cool moment. That part of me is dead now. But actually, here it is again. Actually, I'm bringing it back. To destroy him, I must become him. So we're seeing lots of snakes, alligators, insects. Let's go home, says
David Paul is a legend. They donated $10 via Super Chat. Please check out the 20 years anniversary video by WWE with Foley Taker and the ref among others talking about that match. If you haven't yet, maybe watch it afterwards.
Shout out to you, David Paul. I haven't seen that video, the 20th anniversary. That would have been from what? 2018? I don't think I've seen it. Okay, first of all, David Paul, shout out to you, dude. Thank you very much for the support. I will try and check that out and see if there's any bits that I can... I always like to read up on the events before we do them, so we've got a few facts and things, so I'll probably end up watching it before the stream or something like that. But we are doing that watch long on Sunday. It should be a lot of fun. No UFC tomorrow. We're doing the best of the United States Championship matches. It's one video. It's no messing around. You just put the video on and it plays. But they Big E rolling down the entranceway again. So yeah, we've got a busy weekend coming up. The Swamp thing there, it was cool, but it was what we expected. There was nothing in there, certainly that I saw that was, wow, did you just see that? So, yeah, not really much in the way of a talking point there. New Day have just come down to the ring. And again, he throws his jacket at the commentators. Is it against Cesaro and Nakamura? Nakamura. There we go. Wow. Even if you think that you saw Harper, which I didn't, it's irrelevant. He's not coming back. Since the match of AJ and Gulak, Daniel didn't come back and take your job. Yes. Yes. Well, I think, you know, I made my point very clear, didn't I? I think I was very clear. I think I was very fair. And I think he's taken that on board, so... I wonder when WWE will do the Hall of Fame. SummerSlam is what I've heard. Heather says, I'd be shocked if Rowan came back considering how he was released. Not professional at all. Harvey says, who is your favourite British wrestler? That's easy, Harvey. That's easy. Lord Littlebrook. Lord Littlebrook that we saw at WrestleMania 3 in the match... Lord Littlebrook from the UK. I've known about Lord Littlebrook for a long time, and well, I have heard his name actually, but yeah, I didn't know he was from the UK. But we found that out during our WrestleMania 3 watch along. Lord Littlebrook, so legend. Days, you should do a watch along of Money in the Bank 2019. I'm pretty sure we have. I think we have. I'd be amazed if there wasn't one that we did. We have been streaming since about 2018, mid-2018. So we have been streaming for about 2 years. Days, at least read my comment. Alan, Jason, shout out to you. Days, I think it's just Kingston Nakamura. Okay, could be. I didn't quite catch who it was, but Big E is in wrestling attire. Unless it's going to be one of those where it's Kingston versus Nakamura, and then it gets turned into a tag match. Febstart says, would you like The Fiend to one day absolutely destroy Goldberg in another match, or at least in a segment? I don't know. Maybe if there's a way of explaining what happened so that Super Showdown doesn't leave quite the same sour taste in the mouth that it does right now. Because honestly, right now, it does leave a sour taste. So, yeah, if they could revisit it and explain what happened. But it's got to be the worst result. LSW says, Days, what's your favourite title? My favourite title is the NWA Little Person Championship. That was quite an eye-opener. Kato Jackson, shout out to you, my friend, says, Days, can you show us your hair? Honestly, you don't want to see it right now. It's an absolute mess. It's always a mess, in all fairness. And can you name 5 wrestlers that you want to debut from Impact or New Japan? I'd struggle with Impact because I don't really know their roster. But New Japan, straight away, you think Okada, Naito, Takahashi, maybe Tanahashi. And I do love Roppongi 3K. I think they're one of the best tag teams in the world. I know people love Gorillas of Destiny as well. Yeah, I'd honestly, Switchblade Jay White as well. The list is endless when it comes to New Japan. Right, we're just seeing what happened last week with Nakamura and Cesaro attacking the New Day. I don't feel like the New Day have had the spotlight on them that bright. Definitely feels like Bayley and Sasha are getting more of a spotlight. We've got just half an hour to go. Here we go, look, they're just staring at the commentators. Here come, oh, it is, yeah, you're right, it is Cesaro making his way down. And I'm sure Nakamura coming down as well. Although, Big E and Kofi are both in wrestling attire. Here is Cesaro. G.O.D. have got potty mouths. Sonny Wolf, shout out to you. Luke Sabo. Days, you need a crown? Oh, I tell you what, Monica, you should see me in a crown. Okay, Nakamura and Kingston. I mean, does Big E just wear his get up, does he, just out of support or something? I don't understand. Why is he bothered putting his ring attire on? Days, I don't get it. When Goldberg came back, everyone liked him. Then he beat The Fiend and no one likes him. I don't know if everyone did like him when he came back, to be honest. I certainly wasn't. I've never been bothered by Goldberg. I've never thought Goldberg was anything special. Dropkick by Kofi. Nakamura back into the corner. We got Cesaro at ringside. We got Big E at ringside. Does Days listen to Billie Eilish? Not really. I mean, I do and I don't. I heard You Should See Me in a Crown was one of the theme songs for an NXT takeover, which is how I first heard of Billie Eilish. And then, of course, everyone's heard Bad Guy. That might have been a theme as well, actually. But I haven't actually sat down and obviously the Bond theme. Everyone heard the Bond theme, which is great. I really do love that. So I've heard those, but I haven't heard her other stuff. I think I might have listened to a couple of tracks, but not like on repeat, you know? Nice drop kick, and Nakamura is on the outside. Days, WWE's tag division is dead. I agree. Nakamura moving out of the way. Kingston jumping out of the ring. Nice kick to the midsection by Nakamura. Nakamura should be a bigger star in WWE than he is. I don't think Nakamura's that young either, so the concern is that he's not got, like, tons of time left. It's not as if he's still got 10 years ahead of him. Oh, into the plexiglass goes Nakamura. Nakamura is 40. Nakamura is 40 now. I mean, he's still got a good few years, in all fairness. But they could probably do with pulling the trigger a little more. I kind of thought they had when they gave him that Rumble win. But then, of course, he goes to WrestleMania and ends up losing against AJ. Nakamura, such a big star in Japan. Such a big star in Japan. He was a 3-time IWGP heavyweight champion, 5-time IWGP Intercontinental champion. He's a former IWGP tag team champion. He won the G1 Climax. He won the G1 Tag League. He's won the New Japan Cup. He was voted most popular wrestler in 2016 on Pro Wrestling Illustrated. He's obviously come over. He's a 2-time NXT champion. He's won the Intercontinental Championship. He's 2-time United States champion. He's achieved so much. And Tokyo Sports awarded him Rookie of the Year in 2003. Jessica Carr getting rid of Big E and Cesaro. Cesaro not happy about that. So yeah, as we said, should be so much bigger than he is. He's a big star in Japan, or was. So, classic referee move. You are out of here. Big E gets thrown out. Cesaro gets thrown out. We have got a straight 1-on-1 match right now. 25 minutes left of SmackDown this week. As we said, it's been quite solid. And we've still got that toast to come. I don't know. Why is the toast the main event? I will admit that is strange. I will admit it is strange that the toast is the main event, or seemingly the toast is the main event. You would expect something to happen there. DJ says there's no after party tonight. I will be back on Monday. Sonny Wolf says, I loved when Nakamura was by himself. What's happened to the Big E heel turn? Well, I mean, I don't know. I think that the whole COVID thing, I don't think they're going to want to turn him whilst there's no crowd. If you're going to do it, you're going to want the crowd's reaction. To do it without fans, I think that's changed a lot of plans. A lot of plans. The toast is going to be the main event, says Wrestling Days fan. Days, why did WWE stop doing Raw Goes Old School? I don't think it was a regular thing, to be honest. They did it just whenever they needed a bit of a ratings boost. You know, just a way of bringing back a load of legends. I'm sure you will see it return. Nakamura was a great NXT champ, says James Chadwick. Days, Briscoes or Young Bucks? I haven't seen enough of the Briscoes to comment, but I have watched some of their matches, and they are very good. I'd be leaning to the Bucks, to be honest. I wasn't fully back into WWE, but around when he first came in, I saw a couple of clips and loved when he was on his own. Monica says, ever since Sammy was with Nakamura, it's like WWE doesn't know what to do. I agree. Shinsuke is in his 40s, yes. Carmen Live 2, yeah. Yeah, Rumble is on Tuesday. I was really debating watching it, but then I remembered that I have Wrestling Escape Pod that has to get recorded, so I sadly can't. Nakamura in control right now, so what's good here is seemingly no outside interference. We've just got a straight match, and this could be quite good, actually. Nakamura maybe being given an opportunity against WWE legend, future Hall of Famer. Someone that potentially should go in twice. I don't know. Do you put Kofi in twice? I mean, I think you do. I think that if you've won the WWE Championship, you should be pretty much guaranteed a Hall of Fame spot. They believed in you so much that they put the belt on you. And what Kofi achieved there was separate from New Day. So Kofi, with that title reign, and, you know, his longevity, And obviously his career before the New Day that was quite substantial. You know, you could look at that. You take the New Day. If you took the New Day away, but Kofi still had that championship run, you would put Kofi in the Hall of Fame. But then, just look at the New Day and what the New Day achieved. I think you put Kofi in twice. So, this is a legend. I think we can start using that word for Kofi. Maybe people have already started. Perhaps I'm a bit slow. So, Nakamura being in there with Kofi and no outside interference, hopefully giving them a little bit of time, could be a nice little showcase here. Against the ropes goes Kofi. Back elbow by Shinsuke. James says Kofi has defo got to go in twice. J14 says, so would Jinder go in? Yes. Yep, I would put Jinder in. They put the title on Jinder. Jinder has been with the company quite a long time. I know that you might look at it and Jinder would be maybe the least attractive of the WWE champions, former champions. But his career is still not over. We don't know what Jinder's going to go on to achieve. But even if he doesn't achieve any more, he's reached the mountaintop. They pulled the trigger. They put the belt on the guy. They used him to try and break into India. And he did make some inroads. You know, he is loved in India. And I think that, you know, obviously he's out with surgery now. But with that tag team that's just emerged in NXT and WWE potentially looking to go back to India, it could be that Jinder gets another push again. So his career is far from over. But yeah, I'll stand by it. I think he goes in. I think if you get yourself to the point where not only are you wrestling for WWE, right? But WWE actually put the belt on you and say, this is the guy. This is the man. And he didn't hold it for a day. He held it for months. Then, yeah, I think you go in the Hall of Fame. Shinsuke charging over. Top rope Enziguri. And we've got Kofi going up top. Oh, gets caught. Nakamura rolling Kofi over, but Kofi reverses to kick out by Nakamura. How long have we got? Hopefully they give this at least 5 more minutes. Nice kick by Nakamura. 2. Shoulder up by Kofi. Again, 3-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion. 5-time IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Looking for the Kinshasa. Slides underneath. Trying to grab Kofi. Throws him over. Kofi lands on his feet. Looking for SOS. Into the pin. Kick out by Nakamura. Fireworks. NXT India could be the new NXT UK. I would imagine they will establish a base there, yes. Such a big, big country for them to try and get, you know, a foothold in. Nice, under the legs. Nice stomp by Kofi, going for the pin. 2. Shoulder up by Nakamura. Days Watch think about Xavier's return will be like. Yeah, hard to plan it out. It's so hard to predict the future because we don't know when we're getting crowds back, do we? So I can't quite call it. I mean, it might be something as basic as they're outnumbered, being beaten up. Down comes Xavier to make the save, you know. He gets caught. Nakamura, sleeper hold. Oh, the Kinshasa. He manages to catch him. And he wins it as well. A little shorter than I wanted. But there we go. Shinsuke, clean gets a win over a former WWE champion. That's good. There we go. That's a big win for Nakamura. Oh, hello. Cesaro looking under the ring. What's he going for? A table? Cesaro grabbing a table. What's this lead into? Where's Big E? Where's Big E? We've got 15 minutes left. Here's Big E. Should Finn go into the Hall of Fame? Yes. First Universal Champion. I think that cements him. And again, his career's not done. Do you know what I mean? We don't know where. We don't know what Jinder's still going to achieve. We don't know what Balor's going to still achieve. I mean, you'd feel that Balor, hopefully, is still very early into his career. How old is Balor? Let's have a look. I mean, he's in his 30s, but I don't know exactly his age. Do you want to say about 35? 38. A little bit older than I thought, but even at the age of 38, he's still got 5 years plus ahead of him. So next week, we're going to revisit Braun versus Bray from Money in the Bank. I don't want to. I don't want to. Next week, we've got Alexa, Nikki taking on Bayley and Sasha. Oh. Also, next week, Tag Team Championship match. The New Day putting the titles on the line against Shinsuke and Cesaro. So, next week, looking quite stacked. I don't know about this. Toast to Jeff Hardy. It's the main event. This is going to be a big talking point, isn't it? This is going to be the moment. This is what I was worried about. And they've made it the main event. The toast is coming up. Who will be the next Paul Heyman guy? I don't know what Paul Heyman's role is with the company now. Paul Heyman might just be with Brock or something. They don't want to break kayfabe, but heck, they need to get Bo hooked with Bray somehow. Jim Gore says the bartender should be wearing a mask. I thought it was actual toast. That would be a bit strange. What, you thought that Sheamus and Jeff Hardy were going to eat toast in the ring together? Are you ready for Extreme Rules? I'm looking forward to it. I'm not super pumped yet. I'd like to see more of the card get announced. But I do think that Sasha Asuka is going to be incredible. Little bit worried about the Swamp match because it could be a bit... It could be silly. I don't know. It could be hard-hitting. It could... I want it to be hard-hitting, brutal, some nice imagery, but nothing that goes too far. My worry is that it's going to be silly. I mean, not silly as in, like, Viking Raiders, Street Profits, but just, like... Get to the point where it's like, oh, I'm not feeling this, you know? It's gone a bit far. I don't want that. I don't want that. Do you like the New Day? I like the New Day. This toast segment is gonna be good, says Heather. This has been a good show, says Jerry. Oh, yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to the Swamp match. That's my most anticipated match. Aren't beans and toast a big English breakfast? They're parts of an English breakfast. An English breakfast, a full English, is where you have baked beans, which I don't think you get in America. I don't know. Or if you do, they're not quite the same. So baked beans, you would have black pudding, which is like pig's blood, which sounds awful, but it tastes all right. I don't mind black pudding, but I'm not like I'm never desperate for it. It's like congealed pig's blood, which does, I'll be the first to admit, does sound weird, and it does taste a little weird, but it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, you'd have toast. You'd have congealed pig's blood. You'd have baked beans. You'd have bacon, sausage, fried egg. What else would you have? Tomatoes. You'd have tomatoes. Would you have anything else? Maybe some hash browns. That's about it. Big plate. That's a full English. You tend to have that like on a weekend, on a, you know what I mean? Especially, you don't have it every day of the week. There might be people that do, but you know what I mean? On a Saturday, on a Sunday, maybe you've been out the night before, you've had a few drinks, you get back late, you wake up the next day, you're like, oh, what shall I have? I'm gonna have, should we have a full English? Go on then. You get the bacon on the go and the beans and nice. If you go to pubs in the UK, full English is pretty much always on the menu. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that because that's very random. We're going to talk about what's happening right now. This is a toast to Jeff Hardy. We've got a bartender in the ring. Jeff Hardy is in. What are you going to do? Try and embarrass me? I hope this segment doesn't get too uncomfortable. I think it will. Okay, so is Sheamus not even there? Sheamus is on screen. Sheamus says, I've decided to give you some personal space. Sheamus is at home, he is, yeah. You was looking for a quick fix. Jeff, you've got a problem. They've cost you the love and respect of people that love you. They've cost you the best years of your career. Days, don't that waiter look like the Miz? He's gone. This is a weird way to end the show, isn't it? Sheamus says, you're sad, you're pathetic, and it breaks my heart. Because we've seen it all before. Hashtag Jeff Hardy toast. They've got something planned here. Could there be someone under the table? I'm wondering if if there's something with the tables. That's what I'm thinking. Someone under the table. The answer is in one of those bottles. So Sheamus is trying to get Jeff to drink. May your troubles be less and your blessings be more. It's a bit strange so far. Ambush, maybe? With a drink in your hand, you'll never walk alone. You beautiful junkie. So, Sheamus... Jeff Hardy says, you've got to be the sickest person I've ever met. Making fun of my struggles. Is it funny to you? See, I like this. I like... Feels real, because it is real. Sheamus says, I'm here to help. Where is the bartender? Where's the bartender gone? Alright, he's given Jeff Hardy a... Just smack this guy in the face. Just punch this guy in the face. This guy has got some a glass of seemingly champagne or something. Like he's holding it. Oh, that guy's got a face that you really want to punch as well. Look at that. Look at his smirky face. Who is this guy? Is this like Sarah Schreiber in disguise? Sheamus says, follow your instincts. Just throw that in his face. Punch him in the face. Throw it in his face. What's the worst? There you go. Sheamus says, that's right. That's the Jeff that I remember. He goes for a sip, but he doesn't drink it. He turns to the bartender. Doesn't drink it again. And tips it over the bartender. Good. The crowd applaud. Oh, yes. Nice. He smashes a bottle over the guy's head. Good. I hope that guy had hazard pay. I don't know if Hardy needs to go this far. It's good that the bartender's lying in position as well. Swanton. It's good that the bartender knows how to take that spot. Well, there we go. Jeff Hardy standing tall. He turns down the alcohol. I gotta tell you, I'm waiting for the big punchline, and I don't know that it's coming. I think him attacking the bartender was the big punchline. Wow, that is not how you end a show. That did not have the impact or the twist or the turn or the swerve or the anything that I was expecting. That was Sheamus trying to tempt Jeff Hardy to take a drink. And at no point did I think Jeff Hardy was going to do it. Was I meant to? Was I meant to be sitting here thinking, don't do it, Jeff? Is that what people were doing? Was there people at home going, no, Jeff, no! Don't drink it! Don't do it, Jeff! No! Is that what? I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for someone to attack or someone to come from under the table or the hacker to interrupt, or I'm just waiting for something. Yeah, I'm glad that bartender got it, because he looked like a Smugosaurus. That's what he looked like. They say dinosaurs are extinct, but I saw a Smugosaurus in the ring, and he deserved to have that tipped over him. I don't know that he deserved the swanton, but he certainly took it well. But hey, look. That's the kind of segment that you just chuck in the middle or whatever. I don't know. It's weird. Days, I was expecting that to go very wrong. I gotta say, though, it wasn't... Yeah, at least it wasn't... I wasn't offended. I wasn't offended by it. I don't think they crossed any lines. I don't think there's going to be people appalled at WWE for that. 5 years later, that bartender's going to be a huge professional wrestler. You could be right, you know. It's gonna be in like a ton of YouTube videos, isn't it? Before they were famous. That segment was unique, but it was pretty cool. Some classic Jeff Hardy vibes, says Sherry. Well, Sherry, I hope you stay away from Jeff Hardy. The last thing Jeff Hardy needs right now is Sherry. Chalmers says that should have opened the show. He looked like an MJF relative. Yeah, get your scores in. Get your scores in as to what you thought about tonight's show. Do you think that Taka Michinoku and Steve Blackman returning rumours swirling around here are true? I haven't heard those rumours. Steven says 8.5. Tom Benj Liverpool with the 10. J14 saying 7.25. LeBron fan says 7.5. Wupak says 7. Sonny says 7. Breaking news just interrupted 7 minutes before SmackDown. Did it? What do you mean? Earth is the insane asylum of the Milky Way galaxy. Monica, what do you mean? What do you mean this breaking news? What's the breaking news? Don't leave me out of the breaking news. What is the breaking news? Yeah, look, Sonny Walsh, like, look, everyone wants to know what's the news? What's the news, Monica? Days the Hacker's profile picture has changed. Wow. What to? What to? What's happening? Let's have a look. Ben Russell says tonight's show was awesome. 9 out of 10. Kato gives it 4 out of 7. Guys, is this the breaking news, Monica? Is this the breaking news? Monica, what was the breaking news? She's done one, hasn't she? She's left. She said, oh, there's breaking news, and then she's gone. It's well, it has changed, but it's still kind of the same. That's the profile picture now. It's more of just a cartoon one. That's the profile picture. So it has changed, but it is kind of the same. Instead of it being like a photo, an image, it's now just like a cartoon one. Well, at least they're doing something, isn't it? At least there's some sort of activity. So, true justice happens with eyes wide open. Well, there we go. New profile picture for the Hacker, which is largely the same profile picture as what the Hacker had before. Did we find out what Monica King was on about, or has she been drinking? What's been going on? I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to figure out what was going on with Fox. Oh, brilliant. Monica, you just caused mass panic. Oh, okay. They've announced there's been a shit. Oh, wow, that's a downer, isn't it? I wish I hadn't asked now. Oh. I thought that SmackDown was awesome. It had a classic SmackDown feel, which is good. And I thought the matches were very, very good, says Cherie. Donald Jackson says, I'm giving it a 7.24. Pablo Gamer, shout out to you. Chris gives it 5.5. Days Bayley versus Sasha has been confirmed for next week. Yes. Oh, did they do that? They only interrupt shows with breaking news if it's in your area. That's interesting. We don't have that here. If someone interrupts the TV here, I think it's everywhere. 6 months. Oh, I need to give my score, don't I? Oh, and we have got Wrestling Escape Pod coming up. Wrestling Escape Pod, which I think is quite fun this week. The start of it, I think, is fun, and then we get stuck into the topic. So even if you just join us for the start, we have a bit of a laugh at the start. And then we go into the topic. It's quite a juicy topic this week. It is worst TNA moments. And there's a lot of stuff in here which I didn't know about. So I'm looking forward to that. So we've got that coming up after in about 10 minutes time over on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. Worst TNA moments. I think this was a solid show, but I can't say it was really anything more than that. I think that it is going to be... I'll go a 7.25. I'll go a 7.25. I think it was better than what would be seen as average. I think that I really like how hard they're pushing Matt Riddle at the moment. I think Matt Riddle deserves that. So I really like that. I'm really high on that. So I like that. I thought that AJ Drew Gulak was a good match. I loved the Bayley and Sasha promo. I thought the Bayley match was quite good, but it didn't really have like a good finish, did it? It was kind of lost its way there. I thought the main event, whatever, was a bit flat. New Day match was New Day match. Kingston Nakamura I thought was good. Could have done with maybe a few more minutes. They probably could have took some minutes away from Matt Riddle and given it to Kingston Nakamura, but I'm pleased that Nakamura won. So yeah, it's good. It was good. It was solid, but maybe just didn't have like OMG moments, you know, to get into like the 8s or whatever. Days a major incident has occurred on 205 Live. What is it, LSW? Days, is that a QR code in the background of the hacker? Is that a QR code in the back of the hacker? I don't think so. I think it was just a... No, it's just like circuitry. Look, it's just circuitry. So it's not... I don't think a QR code would work on that. They're clearly doing something, aren't they? They're clearly doing something. Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't see that. This is the latest.com. Oh, that's interesting. 15 hours ago, I never saw this news. Wow, that's really interesting. When I went on, the top story was that, which I love, Zippy unveil their self-titled debut album. Okay? So that was the top story. And they didn't post anything since the 14th of November. And then look at their latest post. So this is on thisisthelatest.com because the hacker only follows one account out of nowhere. They've started following thisisthelatest.com. And they've posted 15 hours ago. Got the account back. And then a little yes chant. So it kind of suggests that this is the latest.com. Didn't have access to their account for a little while. Are they doing... I don't understand what's happening. But very interesting that they've chosen Daniel Bryan there. TJ tagged me in that. I appreciate you doing that. It's interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. I think what's more exciting than that is the fact that they're doing something again with the hacker. There'd been big rumors that the hacker storyline had been dropped. Well, seemingly not, because started following someone. The account that they're following now has got Daniel Bryan giving a yes chant on. The profile picture has changed. Seemingly they haven't dropped it. I think it was probably on hold until we get back to a proper crowd. They don't want to be revealing truth, and they certainly don't want to reveal who the hacker is unless they've got an audience. That's my gut feeling. They want a crowd. They want an audience, you know. General Snotty Naughty says, interesting indeed. Days, WWE could say that The Fiend is only strong against people he has fought before. I'm not a fan of that. I've seen that theory before, and I'm really not a fan of it, because I just think that you're limiting The Fiend. The Fiend is meant to be brazen of darkness. It's meant to be all the bad parts of Bray put together, and that he's taught himself not to feel pain, and there's some really interesting stuff there. We're really saying that he can only work against people that he's faced before. So you're going to limit the Fiend against everyone that's coming through NXT. People that he's never had competition with before, they're going to have an advantage over the Fiend. I've never been on board with that theory. I hate that theory. I just think that what if you've got this great character, why limit it in that way? That doesn't make any sense to me from a booking point of view. Daniel says, I've sent you something on Twitter. We have got to wrap up soon. We've got just a few moments left. Sasha was wearing the SmackDown Women's Championship. I wouldn't read much into that, to be honest. I really wouldn't read much into that. Oh, it's come from C. Well, look, my feeling on that is no. I think they're going to split. Daniel, next time, just tell me the news. I think they will split. I don't think that's going to come as any surprise to anyone. If Sasha and Bayley turn on each other, and Sasha wearing the belt could be a little indication of that. I also think Sasha making this match tonight was a little indication of that. But I wouldn't read too much into it. I wouldn't read too much into Sasha having that title around her waist. She was in the ring with Bayley. I mean, in all fairness, if I had a friend that was a champion and I had to hold the belts, I would put it on as well. See what it feels like, have it around my waist. So, yeah, I think that a split is coming, but I don't think there's really much to read into that. Days, will we see NXT evolve? That would be cool. Wrestling Escape Pod in 5 minutes, yeah. Days, random question. Who is a superstar WWE seriously missed in making a great world champion? Well, I mean, you'd have to say that... First name that comes to mind is like Mr. Perfect, but when would you have done it? I don't know when you would have put the title on, but Perfect would have been brilliant in the mix with Brett and Shawn. Could you imagine them three? Brett, Shawn, Mr. Perfect. Could have had some legendary World Championship matches, so his name is always near the top when it comes to people that should have been a world champion. Because we were kind of past the Hogan phase then, weren't we? So we were kind of done with Hogan. I just don't think they could get the timings to work. So that's a real shame. I think they definitely missed an opportunity with Perfect. Jonathan says, Days, what I think will happen is Sasha will lose to Asuka and then get mad and turn on Bayley. Yeah, I agree. Days, Google WWE Tops Technician 2020. The background is familiar. Okay. WWE Tops. I'm running out. I got 2 minutes. WWE Tops Technician 2020. Digital cards have got a circle around, which, yeah, I mean, in fairness, they're probably playing on the hacker thing, Tops. So it looks like the digital cards, they're playing on the hacker vibe. It's quite clever from Tops to do that. Get people talking, bit of free advertising, bit of free press. I gotta say, though, I'm not a big fan of the look of the cards. Let me show you one of the cards. I'm not a big fan of that. As someone that actually has got quite a few Tops cards, don't know. I'm not feeling it. People will probably get into it because of the hacker vibe. But don't know. That's not my favorite background. Right, I think we're done anyway. I'm getting super distracted looking at pictures online. Yes, thank you to everyone that joined us. Really do appreciate the support. Wrestling Escape Pod is about to start up. I think Sonny has kindly been firing in links to it. But Triple T will be over there. I will be jumping over there as well. I think I'll be there for pretty much all of it. I don't think really there's much in the way of talking points following tonight. There wasn't really much. That's the only downside with tonight's show. There's not really much in the way of like a big talking point. So it's quite interesting, I suppose, about the hacker changing his profile picture. But yeah, I think I'll be over there for most of tonight's stream. So thank you for your support, guys. We're back tomorrow for the best of the United States Championship video. And we're also back on Sunday for King of the Ring 98. And we're then back on Monday as well. I don't know what we're doing Tuesday. By the time we get to Monday, that will be Stream 100. We have been streaming every day in a row for the past 90 odd days. Monday is Stream 100. So, I don't know what Tuesday's going to hold. I don't know if we do some at Tuesday, if we don't do some at Tuesday. I'm not too sure. But we will have reached 100 on Monday. So, there we go. The final confirmed streams. United States Championship, King of the Ring 98, and WWE Raw. So, awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully, see you again next time. Bye for now.